through. And it's just the opposite. When they score a lot of runs, then the pitching gives up a lot of runs. Lancaster has got to find a way to put the two of them together and rip off a winning streak. But again, as we mentioned, this is the beauty of the Atlantic League. They have a chance to hit the reset button and approach the second half on a clean slate.
The next 2 weeks are critical for this Lancaster Barnstormers ball club. They're on a 14-game homestand that starts tonight. This is the time you've got to get off to the jump. I think out of these 14 games, I think the Barnstormers have to win 9 of them. And then they will go on the road to York again for 3, then they'll come back home for a little bit, and then they go to Staten Island, New York for 6, and then they're home for 9 again. I think this ball club has to be in first place on the 14th of August, which means a hot start to the second half, because following that, they play 21 out of 24 on the road.
Well, and you've got your finger on the pulse of this team. If I'm not mistaken, this is the first time that they've really had a full roster of healthy players, too.
It is. The guys are starting to come back. Scott Schumann's active. Josh Graham is active. Devon Torrance is coming back tomorrow from a death in the family. And Ross Peoples, if nothing happens tonight, will actually have 27 available players at the start of the game tomorrow. I don't recall that actually happening at any point over the course of this season. It's been a season filled with adversity for this ball club. If you don't look at the win-loss record, if you only look at the team stats and don't pay attention to wins and losses, this team has the numbers that would correspond to a very competitive, if not championship team. Where they have come up short has been in the close ball games. They cannot find a way, it seems, to get that critical base hit in the late innings. That has been what has plagued them a good part of this season. That's one thing. The other thing is giving up the big inning in the transition. 4th, 5th, 6th, or 7th inning. So many nights there's been that 1, 4, 5, 6 run inning in the middle that has really hurt this ball club. We're going to take a break. We'll be back with Atlantic League Baseball from Clipper Magazine Stadium coming your way next. You get a look at the starting lineup for the York Revolution. It's missing one of its key players. Melky Mesa has been out since the last time that the Revs played here, but Carlos Franco is a story in and of himself this year. 23 home runs. He leads the league with 73 runs batted in, and both of those are first half records in York franchise history. But what really stands out about Franco is that he has reached base by hit or walk or HBP conceivably in 48 consecutive games. We thought we had it stopped last night. He came up against Cameron Gann in the 6th inning, banged a single into center field that in essence put the game away in the second half of the doubleheader last night. Franco is in the midst of an incredible season, but York is York. It took about a month for the team to gel, for the offense to gel. Now they lead the league in just about everything.
It's kind of like clockwork with these guys.
It absolutely is. And their pitching has gotten better as the season has gone along. The Barnstormers with a couple of changes in the defensive alignment here tonight. And the main change is that Ross has decided to take Sean Dunston Jr. out of left field and move Ladarius Clark back there, at least for the night. And Trayvon Robinson will be in right. Anderson Felice will serve as the Barnstormers' designated hitter tonight. And there you see the defensive alignment. We have seen great play defensively from the Barnstormers in the infield, whether it's Cordero or Lair at third, Hoover or Felice at shortstop. Mercedes is just a wizard at second, and Kelly Dugan handles the first base bag quite well for a guy who's just converted from the outfield over the past couple of years. The starter tonight is Eric Manoa. If the last name sounds familiar, but the first name doesn't, Eric Manoa is the older brother of the Blue Jays ace, Alek Manoa. Eric has been in the minor leagues for years now. He's pitched in 4 different organizations, and the Barnstormers have recently inserted him into the starting rotation. His first pitch, high and inside to Stokes, ball 1. We talk about the big innings in Manoa's last time out against Staten Island back on Friday night. He was leading by the score of 6-1 going into the top of the 5th. He gave up 3 home runs in that 5th inning, just out of nowhere. And all of a sudden it was 7-6 Staten Island. The Barnstormers did rally to win that ball game. They pulled away at the end 14-7. 1 ball, 1 strike on Troy Stokes Jr., who was in the major leagues just last year. Manoa deals into the dirt, and it's 2-1.
So it's 1 inning that is really doing in the Lancaster pitching staff this year.
It
at least it appears.
It absolutely is. And sometimes they get caught in the transition around the 6th inning. Fouled straight back 2-2. Brooks Hall had that happen when we were in Kentucky last week. He took a 7-1 lead going into the bottom of the 6th. Everything smooth sailing. By the time Ross could get him out, it was 7-4 with 2 runners on base. Both those runners scored. And the next thing we knew, it was 7-7. Here's a 2-2 on Stokes. Swing and a miss. Manoa starts off his night with a strikeout. That's his 22nd in 20 innings of work. The Barnstormers are, I sometimes refer to high-octane offenses. Well, they're a high-octane pitching staff. And the Barnstormers, as a team, leading the Atlantic League in striking out opposing batters. That is the 565th strikeout for Lancaster pitching this year. Nearly 1 per inning. Here is the shortstop, Elmer Reyes. He has had some big doubles in the 3 games at York. First pitch, strike taken. It's 0-1. He doubled to break up Brooks Hall's no-hit bid in the 7th inning on Monday night. And he had 2 more doubles in York's win in Game 2 last night. He leads the league with 23. Pitch gets past Colton Shaver. 1-1.
Yeah, this York team, looking through the notes, I mean, not only did you mention about the pitching staff being kind of patched together and loaded up for the second half, but the offense is really starting to swing the bats as well. They're scoring a lot of runs.
Well, yeah, the Barnstormers have shown the last 3 games, if you pitch them well, you can shut that offense down. If you don't pitch well against these guys, forget it. They will just get locked and loaded, and the next thing you know, 12, 15, 18 runs are on the board. Lancaster held them to just 8 runs in the 3 games in York. Reyes reaches out, punches that line drive toward the middle. There's Mercedes. 2 outs in the inning, a soft line drive. It gave Melvin the chance, but he still had to go a long way to his right to get that as it was ticketed for center field.
Yeah, not only that, but it was dropping fast, too. And he had to reach out with the backhand. Fine play. But then again, you know, that's the things I don't want to say we expect out of Melvin, but we see it all the time.
There are so many elements to this Barnstormers team to like. The defense up the middle, definitely one of those. And the pitching has come together pretty well. This is a top half of the league pitching staff now and improving as time goes by. It's the 2 things we mentioned, the inability to hit in the clutch, and I don't think it's an overall inability. It just hasn't been happening. Pitches inside on Franco for a ball, 1-0, and the big innings. if this club could start to get the hits with the bases loaded, to get the hits with the go-ahead run in scoring position in the 6th inning and later, then I think it could go a long way. Ground ball right side. Dugan is there. He will float the ball to Manoa, and Eric has a highly successful first inning. Nothing across for the York Revolution at the end of a half. It's 0-0. There you see the Lancaster Barnstormers starting lineup, and that's a lineup that is set pretty well. I think everybody is slotted where they belong. The way this lineup is set right now, it should score a lot of runs, and it was scoring a lot of runs through the first inning on Monday night. The Barnstormers had a highly productive series over the weekend against Staten Island here. They go to York. And in the series opener against left-hander Austin Nicely, they had 5 hits and a walk the first time through the batting order. Since then, the club has hit below 200. York just put the brakes on the Lancaster offense, and the Barnstormers for nearly 3 games haven't been able to get much going, and certainly not much on the scoreboard.
Gee, so many times it's just the opposite. The pitcher owns the first time around, so the offense gets a good read on the pitchers. Just the opposite. Let's hope that Lancaster can do that in the first inning and then carry it through on multiple innings. I think a big night is needed here for Lancaster.
And I assure you, York does have a second baseman. His name is Jeffrey Perez. Other than that, you've got the great hitters at the corners, Franco and Rodriguez, but Carlos Franco also has a very good glove. He made a couple of excellent plays last night, one taking a hit, possibly a double, away from Jake Hoover down the line. He also made a very good play and strong throw against Ladarius Clark, starting off the 2nd inning of Game 2. And there is a Cuban-born Jorge Martinez, a longtime pitcher in foreign baseball, and he has come to York. He's come back to York. He was with the Revs several years ago. Returns to the Revolution here in 2022, and he is having an outstanding year. 6-4, 3.28 ERA, as you see. He has struck out 76 batters in those 68 2/3 innings. And Jorge Martinez does it mostly off speed. He does not throw hard. He is York's version of Darrell Thompson. And you know what those pitchers can do in this league and against this Barnstormers lineup. However, the Barnstormers have beaten Martinez twice over the course of this season. They probably won't light him up, but if they can get enough done the way the staff has been throwing, you've got a chance to get out of here with a win and a relatively low-scoring ball game. Martinez, 11-game winner for York back in 2014. He was 3-2 there in 16, and he has come back in 22 after some time in the Mexican League. Sean Dunston Jr. leading off for the Barnstormers. He will take a strike on the outside corner, 0-1. Dunston had been performing really well out of the leadoff spot for the Barnstormers, but he got shut down in York. He had 1 hit in the series. It was a bunt single last night. The pitch to him here, grounded foul up the first base line. Troy Steffi letting it go.
Well, and when you face a pitcher like this, it's one of two things. Either you're aggressive and going after the first pitch that you like, but if you wait in the count, this is when he'll mix in those off-speed pitches, and then he's in control.
Martinez walking 14, striking out 76. And exactly what Eric just said, you're caught in between. Do you swing aggressively and hit his pitch, or do you wait and give him the opportunity to throw just about anything your way? 1-2 on Dunston, who loves working the count out of the leadoff spot. He does it very well. Martinez with his next offering, and that's smoked into right field. A leadoff base hit for Dunston. And Sean, glad to be back out of York. He, as I said, had a really rough series. He was 1 for 13, struck out 5 times over in York. Never walked, which is unusual for him.
I think Martinez wanted to go more outside on that pitch, and it just hung out over the middle of the plate, and Dunston was able to turn on it and rip it into right field. Good start.
Jorge Martinez, 5'11", 215 pounds. He is 37 years old. He turned 37 in the middle of May. Started pitching in the Cuban leagues back in 04. A lot of time in Mexico. He also spent 2018 in Italy. And I know some others who have been over there. It's a very enjoyable time. Down and away. And that caught the corner. First strike in on Melvin Mercedes. He played for Bologna. That's not what he was paid. It's actually a city in Italy.
I was waiting.
Just to clarify.
I was waiting. I'll tell you what.
He had salami as a bonus. I don't know. Pepperoni if they won the pen. I don't know. He literally played for Bologna.
He's got quite the spread then.
Throw to first, and again, diving back in is Dunston.
Well, you know, and I'm looking at the numbers too, and Dunston has wasted no time in picking up stolen bases since he's been acquired. He's second on the team in steals with 13.
He's got very good speed and very good runner's instincts.
Because he was signed when?
He joined the club June 9. He's been around about a month. To Mercedes 0-1, and Martinez is high. Ball 1, strike 1. Melvin Mercedes has been very steady at the plate. He's hit over 400 now for his last 16 ball games. There goes Dunston, and Mercedes pops this up. This could be trouble. Dunston has to race back, but the ball hangs long enough to enable him to do it. Mercedes pops out, one away, and here is first baseman Kelly Dugan. He only had 1 hit in the 3 games across the river. He hit the ball hard a few other times. He had 1 single to show for that series. Connor Lean robbed him twice out in center. Yeah, robbing the first one might have been a little bit of an overstatement. He caught it at the wall, but the ball had a lot of hang time. Second time definitely robbed him. And to Kelly, a strike on the outside corner. It's 0-1. York gives Dugan the entire third base and left field line here. Dunston the runner with 1 out. Throw to first base, and again Sean hits the deck.
And Dunston had a really good jump on that pitch that Mercedes popped up. I didn't want to say it was high enough to bring rain because we already had that this afternoon.
Next fastball misses outside. Dugan bats at 1-1.
I mean, and look at those numbers. And despite the little bit of a slump in that series, he's still putting up one heck of a season.
Yeah, he's on a record pace in homers and runs batted in for this club. Swings and misses here, and it's 1 ball and 2 strikes. Martinez got that one up to 89. They're going to pitch him away and keep pitching him away. And if they come inside, it's generally a breaking ball down and in. 1-2. The set. Dunston takes off, pitches high and outside, throw down, won't have him. It was bounced by Nunez, but it might have been late anyhow. 14 steal for Sean Dunston Jr. Kelly Dugan with a chance to drive in a run on a single.
Well, and a pitch easily handled by Nunez, but again, a good jump by Dunston. I mean, he stole that one on Martinez easily. It's fun to watch him run.
2 balls, 2 strikes to Dugan. Cordero waiting on deck. Lancaster a chance to strike early. Jorge Martinez working from the belt. He will come to the plate. Dugan gets a piece of it and fouls it off.
Well, and with the way that Dugan swings that bat, It almost seems like it's a little bit of an uppercut, but you got to think, how many times would he foul a ball off his right foot?
He also has that extremely open stance to start.
Yes.
It's about as open as you can be, straddling the box. Pickoff throw to second. Dunston back in.
Now, I'm going to go old school here, but that type of stance, the one guy I remember as a kid that did that was Dick McAuliffe of the Tigers.
With the bat held high over his head, yes.
Meanwhile, the young people are like, who's that?
2-2.
Ooh.
Barely missed with the breaking ball. Buzz Albert didn't give it to him, and it's 3-2.
Reyes didn't like it either.
It looked low. Dugan bats with a full count. Dunston itching to go off a second. He'll stay put, and Kelly hits a pop fly to left. Chasing back on this is Franco, and he'll run out of real estate. Kelly has done more of that. I mentioned a little bit of a slump. It's not a drastic one by any means. He's 6 out of his last 34. And very often what happens to left-handed power hitters, guys who generally tend to pull the ball, their timing gets just a shade off. You'll see those fly balls come off the end of the bat going the other way. And he's done quite a bit of that here lately. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Martinez will go back to work, and this ball is pulled to right field, pulled deep, and pulled foul.
Wow.
That can sometimes be the other consequence of being just a shade early on the swing.
Well, and they say a matter of inches. Well, inches and that split second can make a huge difference. Huge difference.
3-2. Once again, coming to Kelly Dugan. Cordero waiting patiently on deck. Here's the payoff, and Dugan will take the walk. They're not going to get burned by Kelly Dugan anymore. He's hit 10 home runs against them on the season. And if they have the chance to pitch around him and not give up a go-ahead base hit to Dugan, they won't. They'll make Cordero do it, but Andretti has been a very strong backup to Dugan, and I think Andretti has enabled Kelly to see more quality pitches.
We talked about that the last time we were here. You were saying that somebody needs to step up to back up Dugan.
And it's been Cordero.
Yep.
I call him Steady Andretti. He has been able to contribute a hit just about every single game without putting together a ridiculously long streak. He takes a breaking ball down and away. It is 1-0 here, but Cordero has hit safely in 38 out of his last 46, batting .332 over a significant stretch of time. And he's done that without a 4-hit game, just a lot of 2s and 3s and sometimes 1 hit in a game. Slider for a strike, it's 1-1. And he's beginning to learn to be a little bit more patient. He's drawn some walks lately too, which Cordero earlier in the year tended to be very, very jumpy. And this was up until a week or two ago, especially in the RBI situations. And he's driven in 54 on the year.
Lancaster can only hope that that gets contagious throughout the rest of the lineup.
Here's a 1-1, down and away.
Yeah, and going back to the at-bat by Dugan, too, he showed great discipline at the plate. He fouled off a number of pitches to stay alive, and he made Martinez give in and end up with the free pass. But a lot of times players want to press because they want to get that base hit. Dugan, great approach at that last at-bat.
2-1, Cordero pops this up right side and into foul territory. Nelly Rodriguez for an easy catch. That is the second out, and Clark will step in. Cordero with a lighthearted moment there. In so many cases, these players know each other from either previous organizations or winter baseball. And Andretti Cordero is just a fun-loving young man anyhow. Here is Clark. Ladarius doubled home a run in that first inning back on Monday night that we alluded to, and did not have another hit until game 2 last night. Just 2 out of the series in York. And here's one of those circumstances we talked about. Go-ahead run in scoring position. Lancaster struggled. Dunston takes off. There's a swing and a miss. Here's a throw to third. They will not have Sean Dunston and Kelly Dugan in on the back end of the double steal. Well, the Barnstormers trying to run their way to success tonight. And so far, so good, but it will take a base hit or a mistake to get the run across. 1 strike, the count on Ladarius Clark. 14th and 15th stolen bases of the year for Dunston here in the opening inning, and Dugan has his 6th. Less people underestimate Kelly. For a large fellow, he runs pretty well. 0-1, the count to Clark, a chance to drive in 2. Martinez will come to the plate. Ladarius lays off. Well, the Barnstormers have done this quite a bit lately. It forced the opposing pitcher to throw a lot in the first inning. It generally starts with Dunston. You have Dunston and Mercedes, chances are you're going to have to throw a lot of pitches to get through those two anyhow. Now to Clark, 1-1, ground ball right side, and Martinez will get out of the inning. 4-3, the out on Ladarius Clark, and Lancaster leaves 2 in scoring position. We'll go to the second inning scoreless here in Lancaster. Scoreless ball game as we hit the top half of the second inning. Great night for baseball today. We had a magnificent event here on Sunday. We played the game during the daytime. Had a crowd of 3,000. Well, it was maybe a little bit better than an average Sunday crowd. Sunday night, the stadium was open for a 4th of July celebration here, and we had somewhere in the vicinity, there wasn't an exact count, but somewhere in the vicinity of 4,500 to 5,000 people here.
Wow.
For the 4th of July celebration. Just the concession stands were open. We had a lot of games going on. People allowed on the field to play catch, throw frisbees, so on and so forth. We had a great cover band here. Can't think of what their name was, but they were tremendous. And it was such a fun night. We had ideal weather for it. I just stayed around. It wasn't told that I had to stay and work it, but I just stayed around, took it all in, enjoyed it. And hats off to the folks I work with here in the front office. Just an amazing event on Sunday.
So you took a break from working on stats and notes?
I did those before I went out. Yeah, you know me.
Yes, I do.
Nelly Rodriguez, the first baseman, will step in. Those were not left undone. To Rodriguez, a called strike. It is 0-1. Nelly Rodriguez walks more often than a nomad whose camel died. He's drawn 62 this year. Manoa comes back and drops it inside and low. Check swing he held. And the count is 1-1.
So the weather held out then? Because I know the storms, I was not in town this past weekend, but
we were fine here. We didn't have really much of an interruption. We got a lot of rain before the game started yesterday. We had some issues. 1 ball, 2 strikes now on Nelly Rodriguez. Eric Manoa off to a very nice start here tonight. He was a starting pitcher in his first 2 organizations, the Mets and the Angels, and he's shown it. Just missing away, 2-2. It's not in the zone. Rodriguez doesn't go for it. And then Eric had a very good year in the Twins organization out of the bullpen last year, and then stumbled some in the Washington system, and they let him go early in this season. Here's a 2-2. Got him. A swing and a miss. Second strikeout for Eric Manoa here tonight. As you see, technically Eric Manoa Jr. Josue Herrera, the designated hitter, will come to the plate.
Good movement on that pitch, too.
Yeah, I like having Manoa in the rotation. His first start was tremendous at Long Island, and then he just had that one bad inning against Staten Island in the 5th last Friday night. Barnstormers still won the game. Now to Herrera, fastball is up, ball 1.
Well, unfortunately, that's all it takes is one bad inning.
Or one good inning if you're on the reverse side of that.
Sure.
Unfortunately, the Barnstormers had 2 big innings in that game. 1-1 now on Herrera.
Yeah, it's better to be on the giving end.
Manoa hasn't thrown all that many fastballs tonight. Driven foul by Herrera. It's 1-2. But you're better off throwing a lot of off-speed stuff against this York batting order. Brooks Hall certainly showed that a couple of nights ago. Certainly he's got a top-notch fastball, but York is, I think, largely a fastball hitting team. 1-2 pitch. Pulled foul on the ground toward the Lancaster dugout. Clubhouse manager Blake Glass almost with a play on that one. Try to give Blake a little bit of love from time to time because he takes such good care of me. One and two. Manoa deals inside and low. Slow breaking ball there. 2-2 on Josue Herrera, the designated hitter. An infielder by trade, but more often than not used as the DH by Mark Mason. He can be a tough out. 2-2 pitch. This is lifted on the left side. Cordero signaling for it just inside fair ground. 5 up, 5 down for Manoa so far, and JC Encarnacion will come to the plate.
Did you ever get a chance to talk to Cordero about that play when he made it third base, falling?
I did, but now that you mentioned it, I should have. That could make a highlight reel and a blooper reel at the same time. Tripped and fell over his own 2 feet, and then managed to make the catch while on the ground. You get a look at Andretti. Well, what a great pickup he was this past offseason. Ball low to Encarnacion. Man who does very well against the league as a rule, and the Barnstormers in particular. And I still think he looks taller than 6'3". Manoa gets his breaking ball over. It's 1-1.
Well, and we've kind of touched on this earlier when we were here, that when a pitcher struggles and has had problems and with base on balls, the defense can kind of lose some of its sharpness.
Popped up again. Colton Shaver circling around behind the plate, drawing a bead. The mask goes. The ball stays. Foul out to the catcher. 1-2-3 go the Revs in the top of the second. 1.5 logged here tonight, and there is still no score. We're not in Lexington. We
Yeah.
see a lot of those jerseys when we go to the home of UK. As a matter of fact, while we have the gentleman's UK football shirt up, the hotel where we now stay when we go to Lexington to play either one of those ball clubs, and we're done there this year, is right across the street from Rupp Arena.
Oh, wow.
You want to talk about a great neighborhood for a bunch of young guys and even my older self to travel around. We had the night off last Wednesday, and generally I don't care for it when you go night, day, night when you're that far away from home, and the bus trip back from Kentucky was miserable. But having Wednesday night off turned out to be a lot of fun in Lexington. I was able to walk around what is an absolutely lovely downtown area and took in a movie. They've got one of those all-encompassing entertainment centers just up the, and I mean literally up, it's uphill from the hotel, that has movie theaters, bowling alleys, an arcade, restaurant, bars, so on and so forth. And you don't even know it's there from the street. It looks like an office building, but you walk in there and it is a tremendous place to go. I had a lot of fun Wednesday night. Here is Colton Shaver, the catcher. Martinez starts him off with a breaking ball, and this one is knocked out to right field and deep. Back it goes, and the walls will not contain it. Colton Shaver finding what used to be Home Run Harbor here at Clipper Magazine Stadium. I wonder how close that got to the truck, but it gives the Barnstormers a 1-0 lead. Shaver with his 11th home run. He said more on the road.
Well, he liked the first offering and went down to get it. This ball was starting to dip. He stayed on it. Good lift, a lot of power, and a 1-0 lead.
That brings on Trayvon Robinson, who has swung the bat very well from the left side of the plate. Overall, 276. Martinez will miss down and away to Trey. It's ball one, no strikes. You get another look at the big fella, Colton Shaver. He's a wonderful guy, by the way. 1-0. Strike taken on the outside corner, and it's 1-1.
So do they have tours of the Rupp Arena even off season?
I did not check.
I thought that's what you were going to say.
I was
you did.
walking around outside. I figure it's one of the big four in a lot of ways of college basketball locations, along with Cameron Indoor, the Dean Dome, and Pauley Pavilion. There are probably others you could come up with, certainly, but those seem to, I think, be the four most iconic.
I would think so.
1-2 pitch. Robinson pulls it on the ground. Second baseman Perez right there, and one away. Here in the lower half of the second, Colton Shaver putting the Barnstormers on top with the home run. Anderson Felice, the DH, will step in. He's on a 7-game hitting streak. You get another look at Robinson. He was behind in the count, forced to hit Martinez's pitch. And Martinez wins the battle.
I think it's the first time we've seen Felice this year.
Well,
At
he
least
he was hurt for about 3 weeks.
As far as our coverage is concerned.
I've referred to Anderson as a walking bench because he plays 7 different positions, and typically he switch hits. He has not been able to since coming back from the injury to his side. He's batting exclusively left-handed right now. He's just a good, solid all-around player. He's a fine outfielder. I think he's a great infielder. And tonight, the DH. Oh, 1 offering, spanked the short. Look at that smooth pickup by Reyes.
Wow.
And all day for the throw. Elmer Reyes with a great glove at shortstop. That was not an easy play, and he made it look as simple as ABC.
That ball was stung. Oh,
You want to talk about a hard hit out. Anderson has to feel cheated there. Speaking of which, here's Jake Hoover, who has been hitting the ball really well, and he deserved the break he got in the 7th inning in Game 2 last night. He got an RBI base hit on a trickler that went about 30 feet up the third baseline because he has been robbed about 3 times in the last 4 games. Nothing in 1. He didn't look good on that first pitch. The shortstop from Michigan. Well, he has that brim of the helmet awfully low, doesn't he?
He does. It's almost like the helmet's too big.
One and one. He's got a lot of extra base hits this year. This one chopped back to the hill, and after the leadoff home run, the Barnstormers are retired in order on ground balls. But Lancaster on the board first, thanks to Colton Shaver. Here in the 2nd inning as he leads the yard to right center, and through 2, it's 1-0 Lancaster. The first of 14 straight for the Barnstormers here in their Prince Street home. York here for the first 2, and then it will be the Wild Health Genomes coming in for a 3-game series over the weekend. And they will be bringing with them Chris Davis, the former A's home run champion from the American League. They signed him within the last week or so. The Genomes will be here for the weekend, and then it will be the High Point Rockers for their first and only visit this year. They'll be in midweek next week, and then the Charleston Dirty Birds. And there have been a couple of times recently I've questioned if they were actually still in the Atlantic League because we haven't played them all year. But the Charleston Dirty Birds will be coming in for 6 in a row, starting a week from Friday. That's a total of 14 straight here at home, and then the Barnstormers go to York for 3, and then they come back home for 3. And then they go to Staten Island. Here's Connor Lean. This is one of the stories of this season that has just left people on the Barnstormers side of things scratching their heads. Is that Lean is now the everyday center fielder in York and doing very well. Because the Barnstormers had him, and I guess he wasn't particularly happy here. And Ross thought he was just going to go home. Gave him his release. He signed with York the next day. 0-2. Breaking ball dances outside and low, ball 1-2 strikes. A guy who will strike out a lot, but at the same time, he's turned out to be a very good center fielder. Just ask Kelly Dugan. And he can do a lot of damage. He's had 26 extra base hits. Manoa working 1-2. A foul tip, too hot to handle. Manoa has struck out the leadoff batter each of the first 2 innings, and he would not mind doing the same to Mr. Lean here.
Well, so far tonight, Manoa's had a nice mix of his pitches, and you mentioned if York being a fastball hitting team, his fastball can be that much more effective.
Check swing, and he gets rung up.
Yeah, the off-speed pitch or the fastball will only be as good as the off-speed pitch, because if he If his off-speed pitch is on, he can sneak in a fastball, and they won't be able to catch up to it. That was a really nice pitch that Lane just checked on. And
yeah, as we watched the replay, that was right on the edge of being a check swing. You probably went too far, but well, that was close. And I don't mind at all, and I don't blame Lean for being a little perturbed, perhaps, at the call. It was close.
I know he didn't like the one that was called a strike for strike 2. He thought it was outside.
Here is Jeffrey Perez. We're used to seeing Perez as an outfielder. Mark Mason has moved him into second base for a lot of this series. Ball is high, 1-0. And in game 1 last night, he made a play against Anthony Peroni that I think decided the game. York won 4-2. He made a leaping catch against Peroni with the runner already at second base. And it took the starch out of a potential rally for the Barnstormers in the 4th inning. They had a run on the board. It was 4-2. That base hit, if it had gotten through, would have at least put the tying run at first base. Big, big turning point in the game. Swing and a miss by Perez. It's 1-2. He's got a very nice vertical leap at second base. One-time major leaguer. He's one of 5 on the York roster. Perez awaits the 1-2. Manoa inside and low to him for a 2-2 count.
I'm trying to remember what teams he played for in the majors. I want to say Brewers and Braves, or one of the two.
Jeffrey Perez, Miami.
Oh.
Very briefly. Ball 3 is inside and low, 3-2. But I think I know who you're thinking of, and I can't come up with a name. He was 2 for 3 in the big league. Scored 5 runs, used as a defensive replacement and pinch runner. Here comes the payoff pitch. That is foul tipped, and Shaver is uncomfortable after that foul ball. We'll stay at 3 balls and 2 strikes. I asked the catchers recently, and did this, it's on our 3rd online playbill, why they do it. And Peroni gave the tough guy answer. 3-2 pitch, hot ground ball, sticking with a tricky bounce is Dugan. He'll take it. 2 up and 2 down here in the 3rd inning with John Nunez, the catcher, stepping in. And Shaver said, he admitted, yeah, they hurt, but I try to find humor in every one of those bruises that I have the next day. And a story to tell how I got that bruise.
Well, if you're a catcher, you don't want to have a lot of stories.
But you'd always do.
Oh, my goodness, yes.
There was one night, I've seen this with multiple guys. I've seen it with Octavio Martinez, I remember it, and definitely Anderson De La Rosa a couple of times, where they would come out of the training room after a game and look like the Michelin Man or the Pillsbury Doughboy, and it was ice bags.
Oh, jeez.
1-0 here on Nunez.
Ooh, man, that got Buzz Albert on the bounce.
They can take a beating back there, too. We saw Joe Del Balso recently have to vacate from behind home plate after he had taken a 2nd shot to the mask in back-to-back innings. 2 balls, no strikes to Nunez. Manoa comes back, and there's another ground ball latched onto by Dugan. Underhanded toss. Manoa with the putout, and Eric is clean through the first 3 innings. Nothing going on for York. Still 1-0 Lancaster. It is a Wet Nose Wednesday at Clipper Magazine Stadium, which means our four-legged friends can be out and enjoy the night at the ballpark as well. Great way to entertain Fido. I don't know if they quite grasp what's going on the baseball field, but they know they've got their families with them and can enjoy the time out in the open on the grass and playing like dogs play.
Gee, it used to be on Sundays they did that. Now they've made it.
They made it Wednesday nights. Occasionally they'll do it on Sundays too. Why not? Dunston will lead off the third for the Barnstormers. He had a single and a couple of stolen bases back in the first inning, but no one came by in the Uber and drove him home.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. I like the fact that the clouds have blocked out the sun, but I don't like the look of the clouds, though. Was there rain in the forecast? I hate to even say the four-letter word. Because you said it poured here in Lancaster.
Yeah, midday.
There was nothing where I was when I came down here.
I had no idea it was remotely in the forecast. And I'm in the office, and all of a sudden there was this call going out for the tarp. And I was like, are you kidding me? And I came back over here, and it was absolutely coming down in buckets. Here's a 1-1 pitch to Dunston. He goes the other way toward the gap, left center field. That's down for a base hit. Encarnacion will cut it off before it rolls through. He'll hold Sean to a single. And Dunston is 2 for 2 back here in the comfortable confines of home.
Well, let's see if he's off and running again. There's no doubt that Encarnacion did not want that thing to get to the gap.
Yeah, you don't want to give Dunston any license to be able to keep running, because he will. He'll stay on the first pitch to Melvin Mercedes, which is taken for a strike. It is 0-1. Now the Barnstormers with a leadoff hit against Martinez in each inning, but they have only scored when the leadoff hit was a home run. That by Colton Shaver last inning. Pickoff throw to first, though not one meaning business. Dunston back in rather easily.
Well, and Franco anticipating Mercedes trying to bunt. Oh,
there goes the runner.
Jump.
It's a pitch out, and he had a huge jump, draws a bad throw. No ability to advance as Lean was there to back up, but Sean Dunston Jr. has his third stolen base already tonight. If he takes 4, he'll tie a franchise record, and it doesn't take a whole lot of imagination to figure out who has that. Yeah. Chad Lander's favorite Barnstormer of all time.
Is he still playing?
He was playing in the American Association, but I think he got let go. I don't know if he hooked on with another club or not. 1 ball, 1 strike to Mercedes, and Melvin drops a bunt down. That is in decent shape, and will at least be a sacrifice. Martinez throws to Rodriguez for the out, so credit Melvin Mercedes with the sacrifice 1-3. Good play by Jorge Martinez. So that could have easily been a base hit. And if Melvin had dragged that a little bit more up the first base line, I think it would have been.
Mm-hmm.
But at least a sacrifice bunt here. Dugan will bat with 1 out and the runner at third. And now, how much do they want to give Kelly? Cordero waiting on deck. 1 out, Dunston at third. And you know, he's coming on a ground ball and probably on fly ball of any depth.
Well, the corners are in, the middle guys are deep, so they'll concede on anything up the middle. The question is, does Dugan get a pitch to hit?
Martinez with the 1-0, and he did. He swung and missed. It's a ball and a strike. And here we are, the Barnstormers with another runner in scoring position. Dunston has been to third base each go-around. He's on the phone checking his apps. Who's going to give me a ride? 1-1 pitch. Dugan pulls a ground ball on the right side. That will knock in the run as Kelly is thrown out by Jeffrey Perez. 4-3 and an RBI. Lancaster up by 2. Dugan with his 65th run batted in of the season. Bases are empty for Andretti Cordero.
And if Rodriguez makes another step to his right to maybe try and field that ball, now all of a sudden it's a foot race to the bag, but he realized he's got to get back to first base. Mission accomplished for Dugan.
And for Mercedes as well. The Barnstormers taking a leadoff base hit and manufacturing a run.
Yep.
That's some just good quality winning baseball. 2 outs. Here's Andretti Cordero, who's fouled out as one time up in the ball game here tonight. Swing and a miss, and down a strike against Martinez. The radar shows very little patches of rain around us that I'm not sure they would bring a stop to play. There is heavy stuff around the Mason-Dixon line. Cordero reaches out at the 1-strike pitch again, pops it up. Very similar result as the last time. A foul out to Nelly Rodriguez. But Lancaster does score, taking a leadoff base hit by Dunston and turning that into a run. The only hit of the inning, nobody left, and it's 2-0 Lancaster. That graphic tells a lot of the story tonight, although the Barnstormers have scored their separate runs in starkly opposing manners. First run coming on a solo homer, and the second manufactured on the speed of Sean Dunston Jr. and a lot of bat handling. And either way is effective.
Exactly. I like the first one. I'm more encouraged by the second one, though. That's what you like to see.
Here's Troy Stokes Jr. stepping in to face Eric Manoa Jr. for the second time. We have 3 guys who go by the junior moniker out there tonight, with Sean Dunston Jr. being the 3rd. Manoa's brother is having a tremendous year for the Blue Jays in the Cy Young race in the American League. Blue Jays certainly not a bad team. They're in that loaded AL East. To Stokes high, ball 1 and no strikes. I mean, you got to stop and think. The Orioles are rebuilding, and they are starting to look very, very tough. Yeah. And they're still a weak link in that division.
Yeah.
Even though they played over 500 for the first month in years. 1-1, and the Orioles are starting to look pretty good, building around Adley Rutschman. And still, you've got Tampa Bay, Toronto, Boston, and the Yankees in that division. So you can't just be a 500 team or a little over 500 team and get anywhere. To Stokes high, ball 2 and a strike.
Well, and the thing is, even Boston went on a tear, and they're still double-digit games behind the Yankees. I mean, the Yankees were just unconscious for the longest time.
And Houston's getting there. Out in the West. Line drive, and there's the first base runner for York. Stokes with a leadoff single into left field. And now we'll see where this inning goes. The Barnstormers have put a couple of runs on the board, but it's these middle innings where sometimes the games will get away. Following, that's innocent, a leadoff single. We'll see where it goes. It could go in opposite directions. Generally, the Barnstormers have their biggest problems in innings 6 and 7. They've been outscored by 29 runs in that part of the game. Fouled, slicing out a play to the right by Reyes. It is 0-1. No harm if you get a double play ball out of Elmer here.
Oh, that would be wonderful right now if you're Manoa.
And Stokes is on. He has 22 stolen bases. You could see him on the move at any moment to try and stay out of said double play. Throw to first, and Stokes is back in. He's from just across the Mason-Dixon line in Howard County, Maryland, Troy Stokes Jr. Manoa's next pitch fouled to the right as well, and it's 0-2. An area I know a little bit from my days working in Bowie, but a little to the north and west of where I was. He's from between Baltimore and Frederick. 2 strikes on Reyes. Stokes held at first by Dugan. Manoa sets, runner stays, outside and low. Ball 1, 2 strikes. Lancaster scoring the first run for the 40th time this year in 68 games. And they did not start early. Runner goes, pitch fouled toward us. Stokes will retreat.
Stokes isn't real. Did they call a balk?
And they must have. It's the only explanation.
I was going to say, because
Manoa has been charged with one before. And the Barnstormers are inquiring. So that would negate the pitch, but it doesn't matter because the count had changed anyway. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Reyes. Stokes at second on a balk.
I thought, didn't Stokes realize that the ball was fouled off? And then I saw Buzz Albert pointing down to second base. And you can hear the reaction from a fan.
Takes away the double play chance, at least on the ground ball. Reyes bats 1-2 and doesn't go. Ball 2 and 2 strikes. See if we can get another look at that. Balks can be a little tough to pick up. Did he not come to a full stop there?
That's the only thing I can think.
Did he maybe jiggle a little bit?
Well, he moves that left foot, that plant foot, but
2-2, line drive right to third, chance for 2. Too late. Reyes lines out to Cordero. Stokes didn't wander far off second, couldn't double him off. 1 out with the runner at second base. These two teams certainly know each other well by now. They've all but moved in together. The Barnstormers have 3 trips still to York, just coming off of one. 3 more 3-game series in York in the next 6 weeks.
But the silver lining is it's a very short bus ride.
Carlos Franco steps in. Most guys drive.
Oh, do they really?
Yeah, I take the bus. $4.80 a gallon for gas. I don't drive my car unless I have to.
Wow, where are you finding it for $4.80?
In the neighborhood around here. Yeah.
All right, let's
take a look at that balk again. He's kind of shifting his weight back and forth, but I mean, it looks to me like he came to a stop.
I mean, a fraction of a second at best.
Yeah, umpires have a very discriminating eye when it comes to that we mere civilians do not. So take it that Buzz Albert detected something. Ball 1-0 on Carlos Franco, and it is wide from Manoa. 2-0.
Of course, then you get those pitchers when they get a little irritated with the umpire. He'll come to a stop and hold it there for 10 seconds and then pitch. Say, okay, is this long enough?
Franco ahead in the count, working on extending his hitting streak, or his on-base streak, I should say, to 49 games. That's absurd. The Barnstormers franchise record's 36, which I thought was an incredible streak that Blake Galen had a few years ago. 2-0. Manoa to the plate, and it's a sharp grounder to Melvin Mercedes, and out number 2. Stokes moves to third. Now, Manoa dominated the first 3 innings. The ball was not hit out of the infield. Nothing was hit hard. Second time through the lineup, 4th inning. Okay, they're beginning to get to him, but he hasn't folded. He's letting his defense do the work. He has 2 outs in this inning. If he even gives up 1 run here, it's where this team could still settle a game down. They still have control of it. It's when the leadoff base hit in one of these middle innings turns into a 5 or 6 run inning. That is where the problem has come. Nelly Rodriguez, the batter, a strikeout victim his first time up. Stokes at third with 2 gone, swing and a miss. Manoa starts off with a strike.
I like the pitch selection. I think Shaver and Manoa are on the same page. Now, who actually calls the pitches? Is it Shaver?
It's
or is
Shaver.
Okay. Yeah, I think he's right now so far calling a really nice game behind the plate.
Swing and a miss at a breaking ball, and Rodriguez actually chased one out of the zone there, but this isn't a situation for him to draw a walk. This is a situation where he wants the base hit to bring in Stokes. And Manoa, knowing that, has the opportunity to pick away at that. He's got some wiggle room here at no balls and 2 strikes. He'll come after him with a breaking ball, get a weak ground ball. Eric's pitched his way out of the inning, 3 unassisted. Very well done by Eric Manoa here in the top of the 4th. He gets through the York Revolution, giving up the leadoff base hit, and it's still 2-0 Lancaster. Lancaster still in control after Eric Manoa gets out of the top half of this 4th inning after a leadoff single and a balk. Sends Stokes to second base. He got a little bit of a break when Reyes' liner found the glove of Andretti Cordero, and then quality pitches to get a couple of ground outs and still keeping York off the scoreboard. Jorge Martinez throws from 3 different arm slots. He gives you so many different looks. It's what makes him a great starting pitcher. 6-4 coming in. 76 strikeouts. He started the night 3rd behind Mitch Lamson of Southern Maryland and the Barnstormers' Cameron Gann. Gann struck out 7 last night and has 83 now. Lamson had 84. Martinez, though, is stuck at 76. Tonight, he's been a ground ball pitcher. He has gotten 5 outs on the ground, 6 if you want to include the sacrifice bunt. Here's Clark. He grounded out 4-3 back in the 1st inning. Martinez will fire, and there's a broken bat liner right to the second baseman Perez, and 1 out.
But I was about to say, you know, the strikeouts are always nice, but I look at that second number and just 14 walks. Well, I will take that any day of the week if I'm a pitcher, because you know you're pitching to contact and you're letting your defense do the work behind you.
I've said this often, that pitchers like Jorge Martinez are golden in the Atlantic League because he's 37 years old. His chances of being acquired by a major league organization probably are not great. He is not a terribly hard thrower, but he's very crafty. He knows how to get hitters out, and he soaks up a lot of innings.
Mm-hmm.
So it's nice having somebody like that on a staff. 1-0, and a shaver popped up, fouling out of play. Colton with a home run back in the second inning.
Well, and the reason he can eat up those innings because he's not walking guys and throwing a lot more pitches. I mean, he's gone to a full count once here tonight.
He threw 22 pitches in the first inning and barely that many since. 1-1 to Shaver, breaking ball from Moore over the top and gets that across for a second strike. But there are so many different looks that Martinez can throw your way. He's not somebody who's vulnerable to that second time through the order, that third time through the order that we so often talk about. 1-2, outside and low. And in many ways, one of those pitchers, we always describe Darryl Thompson this way, that if you don't get to him the first time through the order, you're in trouble. Because you're not going to see the same thing the second time around, and you're going to be all confused.
That's where being that seasoned veteran and experience comes into play.
Here's a 2-2 from 3/4, nub to the hill. Easy play for Martinez. Second one of those he's gotten. Hoover did it back in the second inning. Pitching to contact very well tonight is Jorge Martinez. This is the second half opener for the York Revolution. The Barnstormers are 0-1. Last night's second game of the doubleheader at Peoples Bank Park counted as a first half game for York. They finished 31-35. It was a second half game for Lancaster. It's confusing, I know.
Wait, what?
The league is confused. Major League Baseball is confused. Pitch to Robinson off the inside corner, ball one. We couldn't print out the second half standings today because they're still trying to sort out exactly which games last night counted for which teams toward the second half. And there's another comebacker. An easy 1-2-3 inning for Martinez in the lower half of the fourth. He and Manoa are going at it. This is in many ways the fourth straight pitcher's duel between two teams that generally play slugfests. We'll go to the fifth, 2-0 Lancaster. Two 2-0 Lancaster over York, and Eric May during the commercial break just pierced my heart. He brought up when the first half wasn't decided back in 2017 until a month or so into the second half, the multiply rained out game with the Southern Maryland Blue Crabs. And the first time that we were going to get it in. The Barnstormers were at full strength. Southern Maryland was a bit banged up, and we thought the Barnstormers had an edge. It was supposed to be the next game played between the two clubs, and when it got rained out, all of a sudden the game got moved 2.5 weeks. It is the only time in recorded history that Ross Peoples has gone beyond shucky darns. From what I'm told, I did not witness this. Here is Josue Herrera, the designated hitter, stepping in. He popped out the third, back in the second inning.
The piercing in the heart was not intentional. It was merely for discussion.
Informational purposes only.
Yes.
Foul ball back. It is 0-1. Southern Maryland ended up winning that game 8-3. And that was the year the Barnstormers finished tied for the best record in the Atlantic League and did not make the playoffs. And the team with whom they tied, Bridgeport, didn't either.
Unbelievable.
That season was won by York, which finished under 500. Fastball outside, 1-1, and you open that door with the split season. Obviously, the split season has a number of benefits, but that's one of the pitfalls. 1-1, ground ball pulled foul and off some hands in the Lancaster dugout. 1-2.
Got to protect our crew along the baselines.
Get another look at that swing, and Herrera, great reaction. Takes ball 2 from Manoa. That, oops, sorry guys, my bad. Didn't mean it. 2-2 pitch is fouled off. York fighting to come back against Manoa here in the 5th inning. Eric has given the Barnstormers a very strong start through 4. Ross Peoples would like to get a couple more out of him. He's stretched out to be able to go 6 or 7 innings. Herrera bats 2-2, and he'll send another foul. This one straight into the screen. 7th pitch of the at-bat coming up.
And tried to sneak a couple of fastballs by him on these last 2 pitches. And this is the beauty, and now it's a chess match. Thinking, okay, that's 2 in a row. Now does he come back with that changeup?
Here's a 2-2. There it is, swing and a miss. 4th inning that Manoa has opened with a strikeout. 1 down in the 5th, and JC Encarnacion will come to the plate. Herrera and Encarnacion, there's a similar thread here I want to bring up when it comes to the York Revolution and the way they build their teams. And I think NOL Polanco has a lot to do with this, obviously Mark Mason. But Josue Herrera is a guy who never played above rookie ball. Brewers Orioles, never got out of the Gulf Coast League, spent a lot of the time at home in the Dominican Summer League. Bouncer foul by Encarnacion. They come here and put him in a very comfortable role. Largely as a DH, but he plays some infield and can be put in the outfield as well. Encarnacion, similar story. He was sort of a roving utility player last year in the Baltimore system. Check swing and a foul as the fastball rode in high and tight, 0-2. And Encarnacion played AAA last year for 3 games. But largely, this is a guy who spent the bulk of his career in low A, either in the Braves organization, the Orioles organization. He comes to York, and what does he do last year? He bats .295, 9 home runs. He's hitting .333 coming into tonight. Just another very good pickup from what you would consider the scrap heap. There's a swing and a miss. Manoa fans is 5th. We have 2 gone, and Connor Lean will step in. And I don't mean that in any kind of derogatory sense.
No.
I'm just saying it to say these guys are not players with long resumes, time in the major leagues or substantial time in AAA, whatever. These are guys who were fairly low on the ladders when they got released, but they come to York, and boy, Mark Mason and NOL Polanco can build some teams. Fastball for a strike. It's 0-1. They're always strong in the second half. Lean has been a big piece of the puzzle, added by York. And this league is about mid-season acquisitions. The Barnstormers have made some good ones too. Dunston, Manoa, Cole Aker and Brett Clark out of the bullpen. West Tunnel. 0-2 breaking ball, skied out toward shallow left center field. Taking charge on this is Dunston. First put out for the outfielders in the game. Nothing across in the top of the fifth inning. Eric Manoa still the man in charge, and it's 2-0 halfway through. In the top of the fifth inning, we were talking about how the Atlantic League so often is not a matter of what team you start the season with, because very often that team gets broken apart by injuries or family situations or guys having their contracts purchased by major league organizations. A lot of the time it boils down to what players you're able to get in the middle of the year. Look at a variety of age demographics in the crowd here tonight, and baseball is meant for the kids and the older folks.
Yep.
And people from all different backgrounds.
Just to kind of piggyback on what you were saying is, yeah, it's a matter of getting that right piece at the right time.
You look at Southern Maryland, and they finished with the all-time record winning percentage for a half. 48-18 the first half, 727 winning percentage.
That is
best ever in the Atlantic League. They had very little turmoil to their roster, but when they did, it happened perfectly for them. They got the right piece to fill in at the right time, and they're actually better because a guy left. Called strike on the outside corner to Anderson Felice, who grounded out his first trip. Ruby Silva left the club. I think he's a pretty good Atlantic League player. Swing and a miss, 0-2. The count to Felice. Hoover and Dunston will follow here. And at that same time, Joe DeLuca, who was an all-star caliber catcher for the Blue Crabs last year. Boy, that was a week at bat for Felice. He got fooled 3 straight pitches, and Martinez picks up his first strikeout of the game. 1 out. Jake Hoover will step in.
Both pitchers, their breaking balls tonight are just devastating.
Bottom fell out of it. Felice had 3 swings that will not make his personal highlight reel. 1 out. Here is Hoover. But in any event, DeLuca came back, which gave Southern Maryland 3 catchers. Long Island needed a catcher. They had an extra infielder. So there was a swap made. Fouled into the seats by Hoover, 0-1. Austin Rye went to Long Island. He is now the Ducks' starting catcher and doing very well for them, especially in back of the plate. And Michael Wolanski, who wasn't being used a whole lot by Wally Backman, gets traded to Southern Maryland. He's their everyday second baseman and probably the MVP of the league since he went to Southern Maryland. You want to talk about an absolutely perfect swap that benefited both ball clubs to the detriment of everybody else in the North Division. Check swing by Hoover. He did not go. It is ball one and strike one to the Lancaster shortstop. Wonderful pitcher's duel tonight. The Barnstormers have a home run and an RBI ground out following a single, stolen base, and sacrifice bunt. Perfectly manufactured run in the Lancaster third. To Hoover, 1-1 offering off the end of the bat. Ground ball right side. Up with it is Rodriguez, and he will get the ball to Martinez covering. 3-1. They convert that well. The Barnstormers' bats have been extremely quiet in the 4 games of this series, but York hasn't done much more.
Yeah, everybody likes to see offense, but when you get 2 pitchers that are on their game and their pitches are working for them, that's fun to watch. It really is.
As a matter of fact, the Barnstormers have out-hit York 23-13 now through 3.5 games. Both pitching staffs have been at the tops of their games here for 3.5 contests. Here's Dunston. He's 2 for 2 with 3 steals tonight and has scored one of the Lancaster runs. Martinez will go to work on Sean, and he will take a breaking ball. It curls to the outside corner. 0-1 the count. 16 stolen bases for Dunston now. He'll take a ball inside and low, 1-1. And he doesn't show up on the leaderboard yet, but he may very well by the time it's all over. Gastonia has a lot of speed team-wide, and they're all over the leaderboard. Reese Hampton, number 1 with 31. Jack Reinheimer, number 2 with 26. Here's a 1-1. Dunston pokes this out to center. Coming on is Lean. It'll drop in front of him. And Sean is now 3 for 3. Will he be 4 for 4 on the bases? I'm sure that he's going to try.
I thought this ball was hit harder.
I did too. And Dunston very often fools me with the ball off his bat. It looks like it's going to carry a lot deeper. It typically does not. But you can't play him too shallow because every once in a while that ball will carry. And you do not want to have Sean Dunston get a ball past you as an outfielder, because that will be a triple. Mercedes the batter. He's 0 for 1 with a sacrifice. There's a lob throw to first. Dunston, I think, was on the ground with his hand extended before Jorge Martinez let the baseball go. Or it was close. And now Martinez pulls his foot again. He does not want to give Dunston second base. And Dunston, I can assure you, very much wants second base. Right-hander to the set. He's going to throw over again, and Dunston is back.
Well, and now when you've got a pitcher like Martinez and those 3 different arm slots with the delivery, Dunston's got to pick the right time. So far, he's been perfect tonight.
He's out past the cut in the grass, not going. Ground ball toward the middle. Reyes will get over, scoop it up, throw, and that's not in time. Mercedes head first across the bag, beats it out, and Dugan will have a shot.
Well, I think this ball, when it hit the grass, it slowed down substantially. And then you know, Reyes, a nice play, but now he's got to throw across the body, and Mercedes busting it down the line beats it out.
They tell you not to do that, that you actually break stride, but I'm not so sure if he's in stride he beats that out. He went headlong, and I think he got there, but boy, was it close. Troy Steffi, he knew what the call was going to be.
And the dugout, too.
And I think it's the right call. Here's Dugan. He has walked and grounded out to drive in a run. He's got 2 men on ahead of him. Dunston at second, Mercedes aboard at first. 5 hits now for the Lancaster Barnstormers. Jorge Martinez out of the set, delivers to Dugan rather. It's outside for a ball, 1-0. This is where you don't run. Your big RBI guy at the plate.
Right.
First and second with 2 outs. A left-handed batter up.
I mean, make Martinez think that you're going to run, try and get in his head, and hopefully make a mistake to Dugan.
Ball 1-0. Kelly will take that outside. And they may be taking their chances with Cordero because Martinez has handled him pretty well so far tonight. 2 balls, no strikes, the count to Dugan. 2-2-out base runners. Here in the lower half of the 5th inning, the Barnstormers 0 for 3 with runners in scoring position tonight, but one of those outs was productive. To Dugan, ball 3, and he has seen nothing here.
Yeah, and he's the type of guy that, okay, if you fool him with a pitch, that's one thing, but you're not going to get him to chase something and be over-aggressive. He knows what's going on. And he's going to sit on it and wait till he sees a pitch he likes, and it might not be in this at bat.
And you know how these sluggers feel during this, too. I think Crash Davis, 3-0 pitch, and it tickles at the knees for strike 1, 3-1. Come on, meat. 3 balls and a strike to the Lancaster first baseman, trying to drive in some runs and extend the lead. Two runners on with 2 outs. Martinez comes to the set, glances back to Dunston, gives him another look. Here's the 3-1 offering. He swings through it. No, Martinez challenged him after all, and now it's back to 3-2. One thing we know, the runners will be taking off. I think Kelly might have been a bit surprised by that.
Yeah.
So much of this game is the element of surprise. 3-2 with 2 outs. Runners will be taking off, but not yet. Martinez making a move towards second. Well, you get the impression these guys are all having fun out there tonight, which they should be.
Yeah.
You only play in the Atlantic League if you really enjoy playing the game anyway. 3-2, and a Dugan, a swing and a miss. They gave him the breaking ball down and in.
Boy, that was
Well, they came back from 3-0. Martinez gets the final out, and the Barnstormers leave 2. We'll go to the 6th, still 2-0. Fourth straight game, we haven't seen much offense between the Barnstormers and the York Revolution. And we're talking about teams that have faced each other a significant amount of time. Now this go around in this 5-game series, because it's played in 4 days, Niall Ball will not pitch against York. He's already seen them 5 times this year. But he misses them. He pitched on Sunday against Staten Island, and he'll get the opener against the Genomes on Friday. Ball is on a hot streak. He actually had taken the ERA lead in the Atlantic League, and he still has it by .01 over the guy who was the pitcher of the month for June, Mackenzie Mills of Southern Maryland. And Niall and Mackenzie are good friends. So there's a little bit of a rivalry thing going on there, all good-natured. Third in the league now in ERA is the Barnstormers' foe tonight, Jorge Martinez. Leading off here in the 6th inning is Jeffrey Perez, who grounded out his first time up. He gets a fastball up from Manoa. It is ball 1 and no strikes. Now, these are the situations where at times the starting pitchers, especially lately, have motored right on through. And at other times, a 6th or a 7th inning gets away right from the beginning. Ball 2 is low. 2 balls and no strikes on Perez.
Where's his pitch count at this point?
I have him at 71.
Okay.
We'll check the official.
That's a little more than 12 pitches an inning.
2-0. Fastball upstairs. 3 balls and no strikes.
Can we just skip the 6th and go like right to the 7th or 8th inning?
It can happen in the 7th or 8th too. 3-0 pitch. This one catches the outside corner, and now it is 3-1. So it's 72 apparently for Manoa,
All right.
and 68 for Jorge Martinez. 3 balls, 1 strike to Jeffrey Perez. Manoa will fire. This is lofted foul out of play. 3-2. Manoa has walked none, struck out 5. Martinez with 1 walk and 2 strikeouts.
And yeah, you hate to put so much emphasis on one pitch, but this is a big pitch here.
Sets the tone for the inning. 3-2, fouled back. And that one a neutral result, sort of like a hung jury. Still 3 balls and 2 strikes. Eventually it has to go one way or the other.
Well, tried to sneak a fastball by him, but Perez was on it. The breaking ball has been his most effective pitch here tonight.
And the payoff misses badly. It's a leadoff walk here in the 6th inning. And you don't know if it processes in Ross's mind, oh no, not again. But the Barnstormers very quickly have the bullpen stirring. Leadoff walk, Perez, good base stealer. He's 10 for 13. Catcher John Nunez will come to the plate.
Yeah, and as you have emphasized many times over the years we've been doing this, 2 runs is nothing. Not only at Clipper Magazine Stadium, but in the Atlantic League in general. So all it takes is 1 or 2 pitches, and this 2-0 lead can be a whole different story.
1-0 now on the number 9 hitter Nunez, who had maybe the key hit in the 2nd game last night, a double to right center in the 3rd, swinging and missing here. It's 1-1. It looked like the Barnstormers were going to get some activity going in the bullpen, and it now looks like that may be the case. See a lot of movement down around the corner. Pickoff throw to first, and Perez is back. And there's Josh Graham, who is just starting to play some toss down there. Perez takes off. The 1-1 pitch is slapped into right field for a base hit. A long way for Robinson to go to get that. He will hold it to a single for Nunez. And now, just like that, the tying runs are on with nobody out in the 6th inning. I feel like I'm watching Groundhog Day.
Jeez.
Manoa golden for 5 innings. And this has happened quite often to the Barnstormers in recent weeks. We're going to get a mound visit now by Mark Johnson. Graham tuning up, but the question is, how quickly can he, or can Manoa dig himself out here in this 6th inning?
Well, a good time to take this mound visit, too. One, to kind of calm Manoa down, but at the same time, give Graham a couple of extra tosses to try and get loosened up. Yeah, they will take a ground ball, double play, concede, give up that run, just get the 2 outs.
The batter will be Stokes, who is 1 out of 2. He had the only other hit off of Manoa. That came leading off the 4th inning. Manoa retired 15 out of 16 batters coming into this inning. But you could almost sense it, and again, it's probably becoming almost ingrained into an oh no, not again mindset when Manoa missed with his first couple of pitches here in the 6th.
Yeah.
And now there's legitimate trouble, 1st and 3rd, nobody out, and high and inside on Stokes. It's happened over and over and over again where a pitcher is just cruising right along. How do you have somebody ready in the bullpen when a guy's retired 15 out of 16?
Right.
Fastball misses low. It's 2-0. It happened to Brooks Hall in Lexington. It's happened to Augie Silk. And we saw it, in fact, happen again last night going into the 6th, even though the Barnstormers were down 1-0. Fastball for a strike on the outside corner. It's 2-1. Where in the blink of an eye, the game turns around, and it's the leadoff batter in one of these middle innings that has a tendency to do it. It just took the leadoff walk, and now Nunez with the single. The count on Stokes is 2-1. Manoa delivers, big swing and a miss. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Well, on that first pitch that was called for a strike, Stokes not in agreement with Buzz Albert. I think a number of Revs players here tonight not enamored with his strike zone.
Here's the 2-2. That will be given to Stokes. And the count is full, 3 balls and 2 strikes. And now Buzz scratched off the Christmas card list of the Barnstormers faithful. But I thought it was wide.
Yeah.
3-2. Huge pitch. Manoa to the set, and this is elevated foul. So once again, a pitch of indecision. Will stay at 3 balls and 2 strikes. You can't pitch better than Manoa did for the first 5 innings of this game.
No, you can't. He and Shaver were just in sync.
Here's the 3-2. Over the mound, handled by Mercedes. He gets the tag, he gets the throw, and it's a double play. So that's what you need. A run does score. It's a 2-1 game. But now 2 outs and nobody on in this 6th inning. Well played by Mercedes. He gets the tag on Nunez. Quick toss to first to double up the speedy Stokes. No RBI for Troy Stokes Jr. 2 outs, bases clear, and Elmer Reyes stepping in. And that was the best result I think you could have asked for there. The double play, and York does get a run on the board, but it certainly dials them back as far as a big inning is concerned. Manoa goes to work on Reyes. Fastball swing and a miss. It is 0-1.
Well, you wonder if Nunez should have just stopped.
He tried to avoid the tag. Mercedes has missed on that a couple of times this year. But this one, he nabs Nunez. That was extremely well played in the field. Breaking ball outside and low. Trickles free from Shaver. 1 ball, 1 strike. We saw Dilson Herrera pick up an experimental rule base hit when Staten Island was in here over the weekend. He took off on a pitch to the backstop. It's the only one we've seen since the home opener.
I was just about to ask you, so that's not something that anybody has tried to take advantage of.
Long Island does.
Yeah.
We haven't seen it. York has told me about it. Ball 2 is outside, 2-1. Johnny Turbo apparently has done it 3 times this year.
Well, when you got a name like that, you have to.
2 balls and 1 strike to Elmer Reyes. Carlos Franco's on deck. The pitch is hit in the air, center field. Gliding back is Clark toward the alley. He's got it. And Eric Manoa does a nice dance through a problematic 6th inning. 1 run does score, 1 hit, but nobody left on. He pitched out of it and maintains a 2-1 lead. get a look at first baseman Nelly Rodriguez of the York Revolution. We've had a great baseball game here tonight. Very tense moments in the top half of the sixth inning. So many of those innings have gotten away from the Barnstormers this year. This one didn't. Manoa, with the help of his second baseman Melvin Mercedes, got out of it with just the one-run scoring. And now, this is where you'd like to see the Barnstormers come out and score and rebuild that lead, at least back to 2, maybe even larger than 2. But it's tough. Jorge Martinez is one of this league's premier starting pitchers.
Yeah, and it almost appears when he gets guys on base, his pitches get even more difficult to hit. And yeah, I tell you, I'm impressed. You know, both pitchers have really had good stuff here tonight. Not a lot of hard hit balls.
It looks like Manoa will be coming out as we go beyond the sixth inning, but what a terrific performance for him here tonight. Now here is Cordero, who's fouled out twice to Nelly Rodriguez. Down and away from Martinez. That is ball 1.
If anything, at least get that run back that York just scored. You have to answer. Obviously, a crooked number would be much more beneficial.
1-0, fouled to the backstop. It is a ball and a strike. Martinez has Cordero lunging, and that is what caused the 2 foul pop-ups to first base. Lunging after those pitches that break away at the last second. And neither one has been a towering pop-up over there either. It's just been lobbed right to Nelly. Here's a 1-1 offering. There's a broken bat liner. Reyes can't pull it down, and it's a leadoff base hit for Steady Andretti. He seems to be good for at least one a night.
Well, he wins that battle.
That bat's a goner, but he muscled enough of it to get it over Reyes. If that similar play has hit the Jeffrey Perez, from what I've seen, it's probably an out. Martinez, I think, thought Reyes would get it. Dang, I break a bat, I give up a base hit. Here's Clark. He's 0 for 2 and out at least 1 bat tonight. Martinez will do it to you. Lancaster has 6 hits. The leadoff man on in this 6th inning. Clark shows bunt and takes a breaking ball for a strike. It is 0-1. We've seen so many smiles on these guys all night long. I mean, this is a great baseball game.
It is. It
if
really
you're
is.
a fan of classic baseball, you have to love this one tonight.
Yeah. I mean, it's been well played defensively. Pitchers are, both of them are on their A games here tonight. It's just who can put something together long enough through 9 innings. Look at that.
Swing and a miss at a pitch that did not have a lot of velocity.
All I can think about there is playing wiffle ball. And when you get that ball that just sweeps across like that, there's nothing you can do.
0-2 to Clark. And he'll swing and miss again. That is number 3 for Jorge Martinez. 1 gone, Shaver will step in.
Either they don't have the radar gun turned on or it's not even registering. I hope it's the first thing, it's not turned on, because I'd really be curious to see what the velocity is on some of these pitches.
Well, I can tell you. Been about 76, 77.
Jeez.
But against Cordero, 86, 77, 76. Against Clark, 76, 77 and a half, 77. Colton Shaver, the batter, and he'll chase one of those running sliders, fouling it off. It's 0-1. 1 out, 1 on, lower half of the 6th inning.
Yeah, it just goes to show you, you don't have to be an overpowering pitcher to be effective. I mean, when you get that kind of movement on a pitch, it doesn't have to even reach 85.
Colton Shaver awaits the 0-1, and he drives the ball again toward the right side, but didn't get anything on this one. Troy Stokes there for the catch. 2 outs, and it'll bring on Robinson, who's 0 for 2 on ground balls. Leadoff base hit here in the 6th inning, but to this point, nothing to follow that up. Martinez should still be good for a couple of more innings. We mentioned it looks like Manoa will be coming out. He has 89 pitches now. Martinez still only at 76. Robinson stands in. He's grounded to second and back to the mound. Here's the pitch, and Trayvon skies this into what could be the Bermuda Triangle out in left center, and it is down for a base hit. Trayvon Robinson with the bloop single to left center, and it gives Anderson Feliz a shot with 2 outs and 2 on.
Yet another ball, not well hit, but just found an opening.
That ball was headed for no man's land as soon as it came off the bat. It was all kinds of trouble for the York defense. Encarnacion, Reyes, Lean, not one of them had a chance to get there. So here is Anderson Feliz. He is 0 for 2, hoping to shake off that last at bat where he had 3 swings that he won't be terribly proud of, but that can happen to anybody at any time. Now a chance to give the Barnstormers a bigger lead. Cordero is second, Robinson behind him at first. Feliz stands in. Big 2-out plate appearance. First offering grounded foul outside of first base, and Scott Schumann was there to make the play, but the ball deflected off the leg of a chair. 1 strike to Feliz. 2 outs, 2 on here in the bottom of the 6th inning. When a team's on fire, they'll get a big hit here. Oh, 1, taken low. Good take by the Barnstormer DH. 1 ball and 1 strike. Because that's where he had trouble that last at bat.
Now he's been one of the more productive batters with runners in scoring position. 421 with 2 outs. 1 would be big here.
Runners take their leads. Feliz will get ball 2 off the outside corner. Jake Hoover, the shortstop, is on deck. Lancaster has had 8 base runners and York 3. 2-1 our score. 2 balls, 1 strike. The count to Anderson Feliz. Martinez will come to the plate, and that's grounded foul past first base as well, and down toward the bullpen bench, west tunnel. And I think that was Tyler Sullentrop making the stop on it. Feliz batting at 2-2. Back with the Barnstormers. He was here for that stretch run in 2015. And I compare this team to that one. Here's a 2-2 high, and he's able to hold on the swing. Martinez changing arm slots and changing locations, and Feliz came within an eyelash of falling for it.
Yeah.
But he didn't, and now he's batting at 3-2. The runners get the extra step.
Yeah, it's not many times that Martinez has tried to go up the ladder in the strike zone to here tonight. Everything has been down.
But even that could set up something else.
Oh,
this
yeah.
guy is a master of locations. 3-2. Martinez looks back to Cordero. They'll be running. The pitch is spoiled. And we will do it again. We've had a lot of 3-2 foul balls tonight in critical moments in this ball game. Still a full count. Feliz was a big part of that second half run back in 15. The offense isn't the same, but the bullpen is. A great bullpen. If things break right, if everybody stays healthy, and if the Barnstormers can kind of iron out the rough spots and get leads like this, or maybe one more run into the late innings, there's a chance this bullpen could dominate. Right now, it's just not there. Here's a 3-2. It's ball 4, and Hoover will bat with the bases full.
Real good at bat by Feliz, as he was able to foul off a number of pitches to stay alive in the at bat, and then able to coax that walk and keep the inning alive.
Hoover to the plate. He has been retired tonight 1-3 and 3-1. Jake is 2 for 5 on the year with the bases loaded. The Barnstormers, I think I've been exaggerating here recently in terms of the lack of hits with the bases loaded, but it's still not good. They're 2 out of their last 26 since about the 1st of June. And here you don't have the option for the sacrifice fly. Melvin Mercedes had a couple bases loaded sac flies here the other night. You got to come up with a base hit or draw another walk, which is hard to do against Jorge Martinez. 2 outs, bases full, and a Hoover. First pitch breaking ball for a strike at the knees on the outside corner. It's 0-1.
Well, and I think you've touched on 2 things now that I think in order for Lancaster to make a run here in the second half, 2 things have to happen. 1, the health of the staff. Secondly, improve those numbers with runners in scoring position. If both of those things can happen, I think this is a team that can definitely make noise in the second half.
Absolutely. To Hoover, here's the 0-1, breaking outside. Ball 1, strike 1. If nothing else, the Barnstormers have extended Martinez on the Robinson single, but especially that Feliz walk. Well, they might get 7 out of him, but 8 becomes questionable. Jake Hoover bats 1-1. A hit here could go a long way to the Barnstormers winning this game. Instead, he gets a different arm slot and a breaking ball to the inside corner. And that's what makes Martinez so tough to hit. You can't lock in on anything. You just have to stand in, guess, and hope you're right.
It looked like Nick Green was starting to loosen up down in New York's bullpen, but it's kind of gone quiet again.
1-2 pitch coming from Martinez to Hoover. That breaks wide, and we get to 2-2. Hoover, in these situations, loves to go to the right side. Cordero at third, Robinson at second, Feliz is at first. Jake Hoover a chance to break this game open out of the number 9 slot. 2 balls, 2 strikes. The target set by Nunez. Martinez will bring it home, and it's fouled. So again, the Barnstormers are able to, at the very least, lengthen this inning. But they want to lengthen this inning and make something out of it.
Well, I think Martinez dodged one there because that one hung up there. And luckily for Martinez, Hoover was not able to get good solid contact and just foul it off.
2-2, 2 outs, bases loaded. Big moment, bottom of the 6th inning. Lancaster's left 4 runners on base tonight. York only 1. Here's a 2-2. Hoover swings and misses. He got the fastball. And again, the Barnstormers are foiled with the bases loaded. 2 hits, 3 left. And we'll go to the 7th with Lancaster leading 2-1. Quite a ball game we have in the works here tonight. 2-1 through 6 innings. Eric Manoa is done, but he has given the Barnstormers a quality effort. 2 hits and a run with a walk and 5 strikeouts. He was fabulous for 5 innings, but ultimately saved this ball game by getting out of that problematic 6, which is the 1-run scoring.
Yeah, you look at it, and he retired York in order 4 times tonight. A little blip there in the 4th where he had a runner in scoring position, and yeah, they got that run in the 6th, but aside from that, he was masterful. Just great command of that breaking ball and an effective fastball when used at the right time, and now it's going to be up to the Lancaster bullpen to preserve it and get Manoa a win here tonight.
His first quality start and the club's 18th. That includes 4 of the last 6 games. Manoa tonight, Hall on Monday, Ball on Sunday, and De La Cruz on Saturday. So facing Josh Graham, it will be the maybe most dangerous hitter in the Atlantic League, Carlos Franco, although Kelly Dugan and Courtney Hawkins could also stake that claim. Franco tonight is 0 for 2. Facing Graham in Josh's 2nd appearance since coming off the disabled list with an Achilles issue. First offering here, a change of speed, swing and a miss. It is 0-1. Graham has put up terrific numbers, and the Barnstormers definitely hurt not having him and not having Schumann at the same time. That scrambled the bullpen. They're both back, probably neither one yet in a position to close, though I think you're going to see Schumann tried in that role if the score stays as it is. Here's the 0-1 fastball, sails high and outside, a ball and a strike. For Graham on the year, 1-1, a 1.13 ERA in 21 appearances. He has 5 saves, 4 holds, 16 hits in 24 innings, 10 walks, and 31 strikeouts. He has allowed a few unearned runs. The ERA might be slightly deceptive, but not entirely. Ground ball pulled down the first base line, foul by the time Dugan gets there, and the Barnstormers wish that had gone the other way. But Ian Pettinger on that call, and I think it was foul.
Yeah, watch the flip, though.
Good play by Dugan.
Jeez.
But it keeps Franco in there at 1-2. I don't like having Carlos Franco still in there.
No.
He hasn't done to the Barnstormers quite what he's done to the rest of this league this year. He has 3 homers. He's driven in 11. He's batting .274 in the season series. But still, him in this ballpark, it's never a good combination.
No, he was announced he was the player of the month for June. .372 average, 9 home runs.
1-2, check swing. He didn't go, and Graham did not get the call on the location. 2-2 here on Franco. That was a good-looking pitch from Josh Graham, and he almost had the strikeout on both fronts. It must have been inside. I think it was high enough. 2-2. Franco swings, and his on-base streak goes to 49. A leadoff base hit into left field, following awfully close to a strikeout. And now Nelly Rodriguez will come to the plate. Rodriguez is struck out, and he has grounded out the first.
So they play, 126 games?
132 this year.
132.
32 against York.
And he's got 49 consecutive games. So
he's reached base, yeah.
That's a third of the season, almost.
Third at bat in game 2 last night. Third at bat here tonight.
That is just unreal.
To Rodriguez, it is low. Ball 1 from Graham, 1-0. Now the Barnstormers letting York off the hook by leaving the bases loaded in the bottom of the 6th, and now the tying run is on with nobody out here in the 7th. You don't have a lot of speed represented right now with Franco and Rodriguez, so York will be content to swing away, play station-to-station ball. Ground ball left side toward the hole and a base hit. It's 1st and 2nd with nobody out, and this is what York will do to you.
And you said about not a lot of speed. I thought now they got to dial up a double play defensively, and that's a seeing eye single through the hole.
2 on with nobody out. Josue Herrera will step in. And York in position not only to tie the game, but take the lead here in the top half of the 7th inning. The Revs with just their 3rd and 4th base hits of the night. The batter will be Josue Herrera. And you have to think about a bunt here, but I don't know that he will be. 0-4-2 is Herrera with a pop-up and a strikeout. Dugan is playing back. Herrera will take a changeup for a strike. 0-1.
Yeah, he's back, and Cordero is just a step off the grass in the dirt.
Lancaster pretty much expecting York to swing away, and Herrera does. It's 0-2. JC Encarnacion, the left fielder, waits on deck. The 2-1 lead is precarious here in the 7th inning.
He couldn't get the double play on the last at bat. If they can get one here.
To Herrera, 0-2. Sizzled foul.
Whew.
Down the first base side. But you know, Franco getting the leadoff base hit, but he was so close to being out, not once, but twice.
Yes.
On that at bat, the ground ball he hit that was fielded by Dugan, barely foul, outside the line, and then a really close 1-2 pitch. I think if we had looked at it again from the center field camera, maybe we could have seen it go a little bit inside. I'm not saying that it was a strike. 0-2, busted bat, little fly out toward right center field. That will be caught by Clark coming in, and they're not going to run on him. First and second with 1 out for Encarnacion.
That's big. And again, a ball that not well hit, and it hung up there. And, you know, with the speed of this outfield, it gives them a lot of time to track those down.
Encarnacion comes to the plate. He is fouled to the catcher and struck out. Connor Lean, the on-deck batter. First and second now with 1 out. Here in the top half of the 7th inning, Lancaster still up by a run. Infield looking for the double play ground ball. Franco leading off second and Rodriguez off first. Graham to the plate, and he is high. It is 1-0. Encarnacion, a very dangerous hitter. He's got good power to the opposite field. We have seen it often here in Lancaster. 1-0. Graham to the plate, and that's smacked inside the third base bag and down into the York bullpen. This will score Franco. He will come across with the tying run. Encarnacion with a double, and it's 2-2. York getting the big hit with a runner in scoring position.
Well, you said about power to the opposite field. He goes down the left field line, and then once it gets down into that corner, that's an easy one for Franco to score from. Second base.
Mark Johnson will take the Barnstormers' second time out and talk things over with Josh Graham. Graham, just his second appearance coming off the DL. And this one has not gone well. But again, so close to getting Franco. And that could very well tip the scales in this ball game. So it's now 2-2. Runners at second and third with 1 out. Eric Manoa out of the decision here tonight. Connor Lean will be the batter. And you almost have to get a strikeout now, although Rodriguez is not terribly fast, and you don't expect to see him coming if there's a ground ball at an infielder. And the Barnstormers, how are they setting the infield here? I'm getting a mixed reaction, and now they are coming in. 2-2. And the war cries start from the York fans. It's only the second earned run off of Graham in the last 13 plus innings. Connor Lean fouls one back off the fastball. It is 0-1. Tie game here in the 7th inning.
Wow. And Manoa's going to have nothing to show for it.
The left side of the infield is up about halfway. 0-1 to Lean. He swings over the top of that. A second strike. Jeffrey Perez, the second baseman, waits on deck.
Oh, and now it's situations like this where the runners in scoring position now just get magnified.
It's York's first success in 6 tries with runners in scoring position tonight, but it comes at a huge moment. 0-2, the count to Connor Lean. Graham will bring it home. It's a little bit high, ball 1, but no issue with that pitch in that spot. 1-2. The Barnstormers, though, in the ball game tonight, 0 for 5 with runners in scoring position. 7 men left on. One of those did drive in a run. Connor Lean bats 1-2. Graham to the plate. This is chipped out toward right field. Over goes Robinson, and that ball will land in the seats. Still 1-2. Now there's a theoretical question. If you're Robinson there, say that ball stays in play, do you catch it?
Good question.
I say yes.
Yeah, well, yeah, with Rodriguez at third base, not a lot of speed.
Yeah, with Rodriguez at third, I say yes.
Yep.
And it's still just the 7th inning.
I mean, that's really, really what would be shallow right field. So, yeah. And that was borderline. I mean, that ball ended up in the first row.
But it was sort of around the bend through the bullpen bench. 1-2, and a Lean, swing and a miss, strike 3. So it'll be Graham against Perez. An important second out for Josh Graham in the top of the 7th to keep this tied. Lean strikes out for the 2nd time in the game. Jeffrey Perez will step in from the left side. He is grounded out and walked. Another left-handed batter in John Nunez waiting in the on-deck circle. Overall, Perez and Nunez are both switch hitters. 2 outs with the runners at 2nd and 3rd. Graham to the plate, and there's a line drive. Up for it goes Hoover, and he saves the tie.
Wow.
It looked like there might have been a little white showing. 1 run, 3 hits, 2 stranded in scoring position, tied at the stretch. Colton Shaver gave the Barnstormers their first run, and Kelly Dugan the second on an infield out, scoring. Sean Dunston Jr.'s had a great game at the plate. Eric Manoa threw 6 strong innings for the Barnstormers, striking out a total of 5. But York has been able to fight back as Jorge Martinez got some big outs over the last couple of innings. A double play turned to allow 1 run to score. And then a strikeout of Jake Hoover, getting Martinez out of a bases loaded jam, and JC Encarnacion pulling a double inside the third base line, tying the score in the top of the 7th inning. Graham did a terrific job with some help from Jake Hoover to save the tie. And the Barnstormers will have the top of the order up when they step in the 7th inning, and they'll have that top of the order batting against a left-hander. We get a look at the southpaw taking over here for the York Revolution. This is Tucker, who is just out of college in Gwinnett, Georgia. He went to school, and he is brought in a pressure situation here in this 7th inning, and why not? Mark Mason has come to rely on this young man. He has not given up a run. He's given up 2 hits in 4 innings, walking 1, striking out 2. The Barnstormers got a look at Tucker back on Monday night in the 8th inning, and he retired the side in order. Out of an NAIA school is Tucker.
Well, time for Lancaster to again try and answer the bell. But boy, those runners in scoring position that Lancaster has left tonight is starting to rear its ugly head.
Dunston is 3 for 3 with 3 stolen bases. He has a run scored. With the left-hander Tucker on the mound, you could see a drag bunt. Left-handed pitchers tend to fall off to the third base side. Dunston shows no indication. It's ball 1 inside, 1-0. Sean with 3 stolen bases in the game, facing the left-hander Tucker, whose 25th birthday comes up on Friday. He's from Mineola, Texas, 6'4", 225-pounder. His first taste of professional baseball. He is outside to Dunston. It's 2-0. Mercedes and Dugan will follow, hence the left-hander being brought in by Mark Mason in this 7th inning against the Barnstormers' top 3. Mercedes is a switch hitter, but Dunston and Dugan both from the left side exclusively. 2 balls and no strikes to Sean. He swings after it and chops a foul up the first baseline. Now 2-1. And I do not know if this is a treat of sitting here or a curse. But once again, we're getting the cinnamon smell from the nut stand. Salivary glands are on overdrive.
That was just wafting right across through the press box up here. Yeah.
To Dunston, here's the 2-1. It stays inside. Sean with a chance to get things underway on a walk now. Martinez gave up 7 hits and 2 runs in 6 innings. He'll get the quality start as well. He walked 2, struck out 4. 3-1 on Dunston. He'll be patient here, instead swinging away. Fly ball short right, and racing in is Stokes for the catch. That is out number 1. Mercedes will step to the plate at 1 for 2 with a sacrifice. Dunston going after the 3-1 pitch. He appeared to be in good shape on the at-bat, but Tucker is able to retire him. Can Lancaster pull out a close game in the late innings? It's been so difficult this year. 1 out, nobody on. And the Mercedes low for a ball. The one time they did win a game here at home, it was against York on Memorial Day. 6-5 in extra innings. Barnstormers have also won an extra inning game at Long Island on the last road trip, the last long trip. Ball 2 is outside. Mercedes gains an advantage. They scored 6 in the 11th inning, somehow getting out of the bottom half of the 10th after not scoring in their half. 2 balls, no strikes to Mercedes. Tucker ready to go. Mel looks at strike 1 on the outside corner.
Well, let's not wait till the 11th. That scratching a couple across here in the next inning or two.
One of the things about the Barnstormers in the late innings is they've had an absolutely miserable time against left-handed relievers. Here's a 2-1. Mercedes looks at ball 3 inside and low. So another 3-1 count from Tucker. Dugan waits on deck. And then you would get to Cordero if the inning would still be alive. Mercedes awaits the 3-1. Third baseman Franco isn't giving him any room. Here's the motion and the pitch. It's a second strike, filling out the count. Tucker not caving in at all for a youngster.
No, he's coming right after him. Good spot at the knees.
3 balls, 2 strikes on the switch hitting Mercedes. Trying to ignite the Barnstormers here in the 7th inning. Tucker is ready. Here's the payoff, and it is low. Mercedes gets the walk. The go-ahead run heads to first with Dugan stepping in. Kelly is 0 for 2 with an RBI and a walk here tonight. Mercedes typically doesn't run in front of Dugan. You got the young left-hander out there. You don't know really what kind of a move he has. You haven't seen him throw from the stretch. It's been about 3 weeks since Mercedes has stolen a base, but this might be a time for it. Tucker looks toward first, and I say that because Kelly has not been a home run hitter off of lefties. He's more of a singles and doubles guy, and you'd like to get that go-ahead run to scoring position here if you can. Tucker will come to the plate. Dugan will hit a chopper on the right side. The only play is to first, so Mercedes goes to second. Didn't have a chance to steal. Runner in scoring position now for Andretti Cordero, who's 1 out of 3. And we're going to get Mark Mason out, and he's going to, I think, make the change to a right-hander. Tucker brought in to face the 2 lefties and the switch hitter. And Mark Mason playing by the book. He has his lefty work to 3 batters. It'll be a right-hander coming in to face Cordero, and we'll identify the new pitcher in just a moment. New pitcher for the York Revolution is right-hander Nick Green. He had been let go out of the Mexican League. He was at Monclova since joining the Revs 3 innings, giving up only 1 hit. Second time he's pitched in this extended series. Go-ahead run at second for the Barnstormers. Here is Cordero, and he hits a comebacker on the first pitch. And again, the Barnstormers leave a man in scoring position. One man is left on. We'll go to the 8th, 2-2. All tied up as we go to the 8th inning. And if you want to understand this series against the York Revolution and why the Barnstormers have out-hit York noticeably, but are tied in this game and have lost 2 of the previous 3. Lancaster is 1 for the last 26 with runners in scoring position. And that was a scratch single up the third base line for Jake Hoover with 2 outs in the 7th inning last night. That made it a 3-1 game. Scott Schumann takes over for the Barnstormers here in the 8th. This certainly not the time one would generally see Scott in a ball game, but he is still trying to shake off the rust from 7 weeks on the shelf. His fastball is there. The velocity is definitely there, but the command has been slightly off, and in 2 innings since coming off the DL, he's allowed 4 hits and a run. He'll face Nunez, Stokes, and Reyes. 9 1-2 hitters for York in the top of the 8th. Clark, Shaver, and Robinson scheduled in the bottom half of the 8th inning. The Barnstormers tied through 7. When they trail through 7 innings, they've won only once in this season. They're 1-29, tied after 7. They're 2-5. So you get an idea of the difficulties that this ball club has had in the later innings. So Schumann trying to shut down the Revs here in the 8th. Nunez will lead it off. His single into right field back in the 6th inning helped to build the first York run. Lancaster was up 2-0 through 3 on a homer by Shaver and a ground out by Dugan. Double play ball scored the first York run, and then J.C. Encarnacion doubled in the tying tally last inning. Josh Graham got out of it from there. Schumann will go to work on Nunez, and the first pitch high and outside. It is ball 1. Graham worked an inning, gave up 3 hits and that tying run. Here's a 1-0. Nunez will sky this to shallow left. Hoover concedes it to Dunston. Sean, as always, loses his hat.
I noticed the same thing with Tucker on the mound, too. Number of times losing the lid. And this is all part of that process. The sooner that Schumann can get back into that closer mode and mentality, the more beneficial it's going to be for the Barnstormers.
And Graham getting back into the setup role. They're both an inning early for where you would ultimately like to have this club set up. Here is Stokes, and the pitch to him is fouled close to the Lancaster dugout. 1 strike on Stokes. He had the first hit off of Manoa, leadoff single in the 4th inning. 1 out of 3 overall. Schumann comes back, and that's met and fouled to the right also. Stokes is down 0-2. Play is in the top of the 8th here with 1 out, nobody on. Ooh, into the dirt. and knocked down by Shaver in case Stokes had any thoughts about running. Ball 1, 2 strikes. Schumann in his last appearance was throwing in the mid 96s, almost a 97. Tonight he hasn't quite accelerated to that. He's operating in the upper 94s into the 95s. Here's a 1-2. It is low on Stokes. Ball 2 and 2 strikes. It's his off-speed stuff that has been off. Here's a 2-2. Fastball hammered to center field. Ball is hanging though, and Clark goes back for the catch. 2 up and 2 down here in the top of the 8th. And it'll bring on Reyes, who is 0 for 3.
One of the few balls tonight that pretty well hit, but
I thought Clark was going to have to go back about 20 steps to get that.
Yeah.
And went back 2 or 3, turned, and it was right there.
I mean, the air is heavy, but ball's just not traveling tonight.
Reyes has been out on a soft liner to Mercedes, a hard liner to Cordero, and he's flied to center. 2 outs, nobody on. Schumann to the plate. That is cut on and missed, and there is a premium Schumann fastball. 0-1, the count to Reyes. 2 gone in the inning.
Yeah, looking forward to hearing the typical Schumann fastball where the pop of the glove echoes in the stadium.
Here's the 0-1. There's a hook, and that's one of the better ones he's thrown. It is 0-2. Both pitches have to make Schumann very happy. That is the kind of bite that he wants to have on his secondary pitches, and it just hasn't quite been there, or he hasn't been throwing them for strikes. 0-2. And Reyes. He stays alive off the fastball. 2 strikes, the continuing count here in the 8th inning.
And what was he dealing with? Was it his back?
He had a strained forearm muscle. And it took quite a while to heal up. And then he had to just start throwing all over again. He took his time coming back. The whole concept became get ready for the second half.
Yeah.
And it was the same with Graham. Obviously, you wanted him to throw once or twice before the bell rang for the second half, but it was all about not risking long-term injury where you don't have your 2 premium relievers for the second half. 1-2, Reyes looks at it and takes ball 2. Carlos Franco, the third baseman, waits on deck. Obviously, you don't want to face him. So go after Reyes here. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Defense is in the no doubles right now. Here's the pitch. Swung on and missed. And there was the secondary stuff, and it worked magnificently. Nothing across in the York half of the 8th inning. Schumann gets the side in order. And now we'll go to the bottom of the 8th, and the Barnstormers will give it a whirl in this 2-2 tie. These 2 Cross River rivals have put on quite a show tonight. The York Revolution and the Lancaster Barnstormers deadlocked at 2. We have seen pitchers throw out of jams, a little bit of timely hitting here and there. And mostly it's been the pitching. And Eric, I'll point out the defense. We have gone now we're into the 31st inning of this series, and neither side has made an error.
Wow.
And there hasn't even been a play where you could say, well, it should have been an error. They, hometown call, gave him a base. No, nothing.
Right.
Nothing. Ladarius Clark, Colton Shaver, and Trayvon Robinson, the scheduled hitters for the Barnstormers in the bottom of the 8th inning. We've seen some terrific plays made. I would say maybe more so on the York defense's part than the Barnstormers, but Lancaster has been there also. Clark tonight is 0 for 3. The pitch to him is skied foul down the right side. He's facing Nick Green, who came on to face Andretti Cordero last inning. And the guys in the truck mentioned that we set an all-time record by going 17 seconds between breaks as Cordero was retired on the first pitch he saw. Breaking ball outside to Ladarius. It is 1-1. Colton Shaver waiting on deck. Barnstormers looking to pull out a game late. Here is the pitch. Clark swings and misses at a slow breaking ball, and now it is 1-2. Carlos Franco will be leading off the 9th inning for the York Revolution. And that is a scary concept. Well, that's why you want to score a couple of runs here.
Oh,
breaking ball, low and away to Clark. It's 2-2.
The breaking ball has just been a nemesis for Lancaster, though.
2 balls, 2 strikes. Green delivers. That's chopped to the hole. It's short. Stopped by Reyes. He will bounce the throw. It's not in time. Clark beats out an infield single. The go-ahead run is on in a man that has 24 stolen bases.
And I think Reyes slipped on his plant foot. I want to see this.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
Ever so slightly, didn't get enough on the throw because of it. He did skid, and he lost his balance for just a hair of time.
Boy, and that made the difference right there. And Clark runs well to begin with, so made an even more difficult play. A heck of a play, though, by Reyes.
Green to Shaver, and the first pitch is low, ball 1. Is Nick Green quick to the plate? He's going to have to be here, or Clark is running. Go ahead run on first base with nobody out here in the 8th. 1-0, the count to Shaver. Green comes to the set. Clark doesn't go, and ball 2 is below the knees. 2 balls and nothing. Trayvon Robinson waits on deck. The Barnstormers have a chance here in the bottom of the 8th inning.
Well, his home run went to right center. If anything, you'd love to see him hit behind.
Swing and a foul tip. It is 2-1.
Hit behind Clark.
Shaver has hit pretty well to right field in this ballpark. Colton has been more of an average hitter at home. He only has 3 of his home runs here out of the total of 11, but he's batted .307 here. 2 balls, 1 strike, and Green will step off. Barnstormers looking for a run, maybe more. They'd love more in this 8th inning. And now Colton Shaver gets ball 3 and a chance to have 2 men on at the same time.
You know, Clark with a lot of movement down at first base, really trying to distract Green.
Green, a native of Colorado, pitched in junior college baseball in both his home state and in Iowa, and signed with the Texas Rangers back in 14. 3 balls, 1 strike. Shaver pulls the trigger. It would have been on ball 4, I believe. Now it is 3-2. Colton has lived at 3 balls and 2 strikes for about the last week. Clark, the base runner, he hasn't taken off. Now he does. 3-2, grounded right into a second base, and we got a ball bobbled. Throw to first will be late. However, Clark is hurt. Slow getting up and needing medical help. Time is called, and that would be an enormous loss to this ball club. He's holding his left knee. He had to go in awkwardly because of where that ball was hit. The bobble, I think, made by the second baseman Perez there.
Watch the left heel hit the base and then,
Oh, boy.
Jeez.
And Anya Holmberg is out to tend to Ladarius Clark, and this looks bad. He is in anguish right now.
Yeah, when that left foot hit the bag, his leg just twisted, especially right at the ankle. Oh, man.
First and second for the Barnstormers, but at what cost? Anya Holmberg tending to the Barnstormers center fielder Ladarius Clark. And what can you say about this season, Eric? We're going to take a break here in a second, but the Barnstormers were just coming back together. They were about to have a full roster with the return of Devon Torrance tomorrow, and now this hits. You feel like there is a cloud hanging over this season. Clark in obvious anguish. Our hearts, our stomachs are sickened by this right now. We're going to take a break. We'll be back and have more Barnstormers baseball here coming up tonight. Trayvon Robinson, the batter, as Ladarius Clark had to be helped off the field. Robinson gets a bunt down back toward the mound, and the throw nearly takes the second baseman Perez with it. Sacrifice with the out 1-4 as the pinch runner Lair advances to third. Shaver to second. And Ladarius Clark had to be helped off the field. He could not put any weight at all on his left leg, and you can only fear that it is a very serious injury to one of the Barnstormers' premier players.
Didn't notice it at first until we saw the replay. And once we saw the replay, yeah, if it's not something serious, we'd be surprised. And let's hope it's not the case. But, boy.
Breaking ball in the dirt, handled by Nunez. Anderson Felice, the batter. He is 0 for 2 with a walk. So into tonight on a 7-game hitting streak.
Was that, not to kind of shift gears, but was Shaver credited then with an infield single?
He was. I'm not sure the ball didn't tick off the second base bag. There was just so much going on, all in that zone around second base. It became a difficult play. Ball outside and low to Felice. And it's 2-0. Hoover waits on deck. The Barnstormers with the go-ahead run, 90 feet away, an insurance marker, 80 feet minus, leading off second. And to Felice, it is nicked foul for a 2-1 count. The Barnstormers have to score here.
Yeah.
There's just no way around it. You've got to get at least one home. You'd love to.
And with the way they have struggled with that off-speed pitch tonight, you've got to get locked in on that, because that has been the out pitch for the Revs pitching staff here tonight.
Lair is not slow, but he's not Ladarius Clark either. 2-1 pitch, ground ball. That is gloved at second base by Perez. However, his throw bounces away from the catcher Nunez. Shaver will score also, and it's 4-2. Both runs scored. Perez in the bottom of the 8th inning naturally was coming to the plate there, but he bounced the throw.
And I think he hurried his throw. If he would have taken one more step to get set and throw, I think he threw, and when he wasn't, well, no, I take it back. That was just a low throw. And they would have had Lair, but the errant throw, boy, that's big. That second run is even bigger, because now, with Franco coming up to lead off, even if he hits a solo blast, I mean, I don't even want to think that, but that's why that second run is such a big insurance run.
It's 4-2 here in the 9th inning with one out. Felice, the runner at second base. He should get one RBI. We finally had the first error. See, I knew I mentioned it at the right time. Ball one is high, 1-0.
Say it when Lancaster's at bat.
Felice an RBI on the fielder's choice. Shaver scores on the error. 1-0, the count to Hoover, and he'll take a delivery inside and low. It's 2-0. 4-2 Barnstormers. Bottom of the 8th inning. And still a chance for another run. But as we said, at what cost to this ball club? That is going to be a gargantuan hole to fill. Grounder toward short. Trying for third on the play is Felice, and he will be thrown out. Hoover safe on the fielder's choice. The out is 5-6. And it will be up to Dunston with 2 outs and Hoover at first. Dunston is 3 for 4 with a run scored. He has stolen 3 bases tonight. Hoover could run here. What do you find at this point in time to replace Ladarius Clark? Dunston offers through the pitch, high throw back to first, or they might have had a play on Hoover. 1 strike to Sean. 1867, the crowd tonight. That's a season low.
Well, you wonder if the afternoon thunderstorms.
It has a lot to do with it.
Yeah.
People get scared off by rain. It doesn't matter what the forecast is. Hoover does take off. The pitch is outside. The throw is late. And Jake is in with steal number 11.
Well, it might be a season low in attendance, but those that were here tonight got to see a tremendous performance by both starting pitchers.
And by the Barnstormers base running game, that is their 4th steal in 4 tries. Dunston trying to pick up an extra run. It's a ball and a strike to the Lancaster left fielder. Breaking ball, bends through the zone, make it 1-2. You know, through all of this, the Barnstormers still don't have a hit with a runner in scoring position.
Oh.
2 fielders' choices, a sacrifice bunt. They've manufactured runs. They've done a decent job at that, but they're still 0 for 8. Runners in scoring position, bouncer toward the hole at shortstop. Reyes will fire across and cut down Dunston. The Barnstormers pick up 2 crucial runs here in the 8th inning. A couple of infield singles started it, but a major loss to this ball club, depending on the seriousness of the injury to Darius Clark. It does look bad, but we do not know yet. We'll go to the 9th, 4-2 Barnstormers. The Barnstormers have taken the lead 4-2 into the 9th inning. West Tunnel will come on for the Barnstormers. He has become the closer, and he has a past of a great deal of success in the Arizona system as a closer, single A, double A back in 2019. And he's 3 for 3, saving games at least in the 9th inning for the Barnstormers. Hard throwing right-hander with some pretty good breaking stuff. Most of the damage done to Tunnel has been done by York. He's 1-0, 3 saves in 3 opportunities. I thought he might have had a blown save in an earlier inning, but not the case. 11 hits allowed, 13 walks, 19 strikeouts in 20 innings. He's given up 6 runs, 5 of those to the York Revolution. Franco, Rodriguez, and Herrera are the scheduled hitters as we go to the top half of the 9th inning. This game is played out in many ways the way you would like to have had it play out as far as the Barnstormers are concerned, the type of games that you need to win, and Tunnel a chance to lock things down here. But the injury to Ladarius Clark would spoil any celebration. He was just carted off the field during the inning break. Brought the golf cart out. Here's the pitch to Franco, swing and a miss at the Tunnel fastball. It is 0-1. West picked up a save back on Monday, though he gave up a 2-out home run to J.C. Encarnacion to ruin a shutout. That was with 1 strike to go. 0-1 to Franco. Tunnel comes back and delivers a breaking ball inside and low.
I like the fact he came out with the first pitch and said, here it is, and challenged him.
Franco is 1 for 3. His on-base streak now at 49 consecutive games. Well, you know the major league record is at least 56. Since Joe DiMaggio had that length of a hitting streak. 1-1 delivery is low. Again, an off-speed pitch out of the zone, and Tunnel falls behind Franco at 2 balls and 1 strike. But boy, you just feel this dark cloud over not just this season, but Melvin Mercedes in 19 and last year with a severe injury knocked him out for half the year. And guys are hard to replace. Here's a 2-1, fastball missing, and Franco has a 3-1 edge.
And you're right. You said, how do you replace a guy like Clark? 280 average, 13 home runs, 38 RBIs, 24 stolen bases, a solid defender.
Yeah, all that speed and that arm in the outfield.
Yeah.
3-1 is the count on Franco. Tunnel deals and misses, and that will bring Rodriguez to the plate as the tying run. Nelly Rodriguez is 1 for 3. Barnstormers obviously had to make some changes in the field as well. Dunston moving from left to center. Trace Lair stayed in at third. Cordero over to first. Robinson to left. And Dugan is out in right. Runner on, nobody out, and Rodriguez swinging a miss at a fastball. It's 0-1. Barnstormers pick up a couple of runs in the 8th inning without hitting the ball out of the infield. 2 infield singles, a sacrifice bunt, and the wild throw by Perez. Another fastball. This one in too close. It's 1-1. Josue Herrera, the designated hitter, waits on deck. Schumann in line for the win. He pitched a perfect 8th inning, striking out 1. Tunnel goes to work on Rodriguez at a ball and a strike. Here's the motion and the pitch. Strike 2. Catches the inside corner at the knees. Rodriguez does not look terribly happy at the moment. So blow a raspberry. That's a good way to vent some steam. And
yeah.
Just blow a raspberry. Works for me. 1-2. Tunnel to the set. And the pitch got him with a fastball. That one 98 on the stadium gun.
That had some serious pop on it. And he climbed the ladder too, which is difficult to pick up.
Runner at first now with 1 out. Josue Herrera will come to the plate. He's hitless in 3 tries. Tunnel was an outfielder in college. So pitching is still relatively new to him. But the Diamondbacks liked his arm. They signed him as a pitcher. To Herrera, swing and a miss. And right now it seems like nothing but heat from Mr. Tunnel.
And he's getting ahead. He's throwing first pitch strikes to the first 3 guys now. And that kind of sets the table for Tunnel to be in the position to control the at-bat.
Franco not going anywhere. There's a swing and a miss again at the fastball. West Tunnel seems to be in here, hit this mode. 0-2. Officially, these fastballs are being clocked in the upper 96s. 0-2 to Josue Herrera. Tying run at the plate for the York Revolution. Does Tunnel slow it down, or does the heat come again? 0-2 pitch, and it's lined to center off the fastball. The heat came again, and Herrera was waiting on it. The tying runs are on, and it's Encarnacion who hit the home run off of Tunnel last night, or 2 nights ago, stepping in.
Well, he got the fastball he wanted. He just left it over the heart of the plate, and Herrera was right on it.
First and second with 1 out. Encarnacion doubled in the tying run back in the 7th. Again, you don't have a whole lot of speed out there right now for York. Tying runs on base is, again, it gets dicey here in the 9th inning. York will always continue to fight. It's like playing Long Island. It's never easy in the late innings. To Encarnacion, breaking ball. He did not go on it. It's ball 1 and no strikes. Connor Lean, the center fielder, waits on deck. Herrera singles on an 0-2 fastball.
How about a double play, and let's just end this thing here.
1 ball, no strikes to Encarnacion. Tunnel works out of the set. The fastball high and tight. Ball 2 and no strikes. It is really dicey at the moment.
Yeah.
By the way, it was a 98-mile-an-hour fastball officially, against which Herrera singled. To Encarnacion, look out, high drive, right center field. Will this one hang? Back on it goes the center fielder, Dunston. He'll make the catch. There's a long way back to second, and it's a double play. Franco thought that one was gone, but the ball hangs up here tonight, and the Barnstormers survived a scary top of the 9th inning.
I tell you what, give Dunston a lot of credit. He sold that as if it was going to be a home run, and he quickly got that ball back into the infield to double him up.
A fly ball double play ends it. The other night, Tunnel got a save here at home on a drive caught at the fence by Dunston. A shaky 9th inning, but the Barnstormers pull this one out. No runs on a hit, no errors, and 1 man left on base. What a way to end it here tonight. The Barnstormers are now up 11-8 in the War of the Roses, and we've got more of this coming your way tomorrow. We'll take another look at that final play. Dunston against the drive by Encarnacion, all the way back to the gate, reaching out, making the catch, and Franco would have been out anyway because he needed to retouch third, but the throw beat him back. So the Barnstormers win on the 8-4 double play. More of this coming up tomorrow. It's always nuts when the Barnstormers play the York Revolution. We'll have another one for you at 6:30 tomorrow night. Until then, for my partner Eric May, all the crew in the truck and on the cameras, and all the cast and crew here at Clipper Magazine Stadium, I'm Dave Collins. Have a great evening, everyone, and we'll see you at the ballpark.